I wish I had a picture.
Okay, here goes.
No kid. Okay, folks, we are live on downtown San Francisco with the Tuesday. I didn't get any warning. I noticed that. Just boom, that's it.
Just go.
Caught with
That's the new norm.
That's the new thing. Live from downtown San Francisco, the oldest chess club in the country, Mechanics Institute Chess Club. I'm FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. This is MI Chess Director Abel Talamantes. There's so much going on here. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, we had a lot going on this weekend. We on Saturday we had the Jim Hurt Memorial, and that was actually a surprise. We ended up with 53 players, which was a nice large turnout
Really good.
for a weekend one-day tournament.
Can I stop you just for a second? Who was Jim Hurt?
Jim Hurt, he was an organizer, tournament director.
I remember playing in his tournaments in Lyra.
Lyra, yeah,
Yeah.
and
The LERA.
and I've played several tournaments in Lyra, actually, because I played chess in San Jose. Basically, grew up at Colty, the chess club,
Right.
and so one of the normal tournaments that I would play every weekend, well, when they would have it, I think it was once a month, were the Lyra Sunnyvale tournaments, among many others. So yeah, so I knew him, was around him a lot
Wonderful
back
man.
when I was a kid.
Wonderful man. I knew
Yeah.
him when I was a kid too.
Right,
But
right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so there was a tournament
Great
on him,
tournaments
yeah.
in Lyra.
And
Some of my first tournaments were in
at Lyra, yeah. And actually, I remember Nick
works.
DeFermian playing tournaments at Lyra,
Sure,
and so when he would,
Elliot.
and when they would show up, they'd be like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
DeFermian's here." So yeah, yeah,
John Grief, lots of strong players. Biasis played down
Yeah,
there.
right,
I
right.
think Walter Brown probably played in the tournament or two.
Your brother?
My brother
Yeah.
played. Jay White.
yeah. So
Incredible.
yeah, so
History.
great turnout for that tournament, and then so not just Saturday, so then Sunday we had a Scholastic event, which even that was a
for
bigger
this one or
turnout than
last
we had
one?
anticipated. We ended up with 28 players.
Is that rated?
It's rated, and actually we had joining us here is Erica Malikan, and you're mic'd up, okay.
I am.
And the crazy thing about the Sunday tournament was because it was Sunday, we started at 11, where normally we would start at 10. And because we had a strong upper section, the games lasted longer. And so at 3 o'clock, our quads were going to start at 3, but the tournament was running kind of long. So we were literally doing the trophy ceremony for the kids tournament while all the players for the quad were waiting on the other side of the room for everything. Erica was one of them.
The delay was
Right.
serious.
Right.
You know, tell me, can we speed it up? I'm like, well, we can't really speed this
Erica
up.
doesn't suffer fools gladly. I've noticed that. Yeah, she's ready. She'll give
Ready
you a
to
piece of
go.
her mind.
Yeah.
I've noticed
Every,
that
every single time.
every single time.
So yeah, so that tournament ended, and we did the quads, and you know we had a nice turnout for the quads, 5 even quads, so we had like 20 players, pretty strong kind of upper section, and so yeah, it was a busy weekend. Yeah, 3 events, 3 tournaments. Erica played the quads. Also.
How'd you do, Erica?
I tied, I think, I tied for first.
Nice.
Not bad.
She was rolling, and then
The last
I
game
don't know
kind of
what,
took it out of
what
me.
happened in that game.
Uh-huh.
Kings in the center of the board.
Oh man, it was
What-
painful to play as watch.
And but like you were cruising in your first 2 games, and then
Yeah, I let him take on Bishop on F6, and I kind of just went downhill from there.
right.
I wasn't here for that disaster.
Yeah.
No.
Good for you.
I saw the bishop on F7, right?
Yeah.
Check, and I'm like, oh my god. This is
Yeah, the king ran around a good amount.
right. So yeah, that was busy, and then this coming weekend we have the A.G. Fink Memorial, and that's going to be FIDE rated G90 plus 30.
Okay, now who is A.J. Fink?
Oh well,
think he was a past mechanics trustee.
yes, and we have a famous picture hanging on the wall of him watching a game with Jose Raul Capablanca.
Is he the guy that was a criminal too? Spent some time in jail.
I feel like I've heard that
Yeah.
rumor. I think you told that to me.
No, we need John Donaldson back for. Just
And he
a
was here.
historical
And he was here
lesson,
earlier
yeah.
today. Yeah.
So yeah, something about that guy, or somewhere around that time. I think it was Fink.
Right.
Yeah.
And then this tournament here, the TNM, is the round 1 of the Ted Yudacufski. TNM and Ted Yudacufski was he ran the Monterey Chess Club from 1966 to 2000.
And I remember him as well. A
Yeah.
very nice man.
And actually, one of his grandchildren's playing, Brendan.
How about
Stolas.
that?
Yeah. So,
That's incredible.
yeah. So, and we just got a call like 2 hours ago that he was coming. So.
Chess is in the blood.
Yeah. So there's a lot of history all around the Bay, Monterey.
Nice.
You know,
And we're
Sunnyvale.
making history. We're making more
We're
history
making history.
every day
We're trying,
here.
We're trying hard.
You can't help it. All you have to do is walk into the club and
Yeah.
boom.
So
Yeah, it's amazing.
So that's it. And what about Erica's playing history? You basically grew up playing in San
I
Francisco.
grew up in this club pretty much.
Yeah.
I've been coming here for the last maybe 10 years, more than 10 years actually.
And you were playing kind of the street chess days. Like
Yeah, I started out on 4th and 5th and Market. I started playing with the Filipinos. That's kind of how I got into chess.
Yeah. Actually, I remember you were asking me, hey, can we get some street chess
Yeah.
going? And I'm like,
Nothing's better than blitz and just talking smack outside.
outside.
Right, and then, yeah.
Inside the club is
A
not
little
enough.
bit of
And-
gambling, you know.
Yeah, a little bit of drinking and maybe cigarettes and yeah.
Yeah, so like now doing street chess will take the form, you know, you have to go get a permit. It's probably not the same, not the same spirit.
No, not at
But
all.
but anyway, well, I'll let you guys kind of take over
Yeah,
from here.
sure.
Check out the games. And
We'll
then
come back and
pop
visit.
in shortly. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is round 1 of the Tuesday night marathon. I am FIDE Master Paul Whitehead, joined by one of our club regular players. You've played in, did you play in both the Marshall match and the Charlotte match?
I believe so. I kind of lose track of all the names of them. It's just
Okay.
whatever
Well,
tournament.
we've played 2 matches.
Okay.
We played against Marshall. I know you played in
Oh,
that
no,
match.
I only played against Marshall.
Okay,
And then I didn't play the last one.
okay,
Next
All right.
one, though.
okay. So you've been here before. I'm going to take these guys to task and we'll find out what they're doing wrong.
Let's do it.
This is the Yudacufski Memorial TNM round
This
1.
is Felix's game.
And on board 1, we have FIDE Master Connor Griffith, Right now there's 4 masters playing in the tournament. Kyron is the highest ranked player in the tournament, and he's playing strong expert Felix German. So let's see how this came about. And if anybody wants to make a comment, my comments are generally aimed at sort of the club level player. We have a center counter gambit center counter with queen d6. Let's see. Do you play this with black?
I don't play this with
No.
black. I prefer a c5 typically.
Right,
And then
Sicilian.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Pretty normal development here. You know, black could have also has some, seems to have maybe had some options here.
Develop some pieces.
Develop some pieces. C6 keeps the knight out of b5, but now knight e5, and white reinforces with f4, and now threatens, of course, to take on f7. Black blocks on d5. I'm not sure about that. I mean, maybe e6 is the right move here, although black could get into some trouble if he's not careful. Felix goes his own way in the opening. After knight d5, Kyron's having a think here. He's probably looking at some forcing continuations like knight to e4, followed by knight to g5. Already this looks dubious for black somehow.
As bishops are locked in.
Yeah, I like the pawn. I like pawn f4. Anyway, it's still early, and let's go to David Askin, who is this is expert again versus master, strong master. Hosea Stearman won this tournament just a week ago with 6.5 out of 7.
Wow.
So he's the man to beat in this tournament. And we've got Queen's Indian transposing into Slav. Tricky.
Fun.
I don't know this, of course, but as long as the players are developing their pieces, I'm pretty okay with that. And let's take a look at this a4 move. It does weaken the b4 square. I have a feeling we're still in book here. These positions are not that familiar to me. A4 does weaken the b4 square, and black promptly puts the piece on b4. I'm not sure that white gained anything by playing pawn to b4. Black seems to have a comfortable development, but white strikes here with e4, and this is probably the proper way for black to take this, is on c4 and then strike in the center. That's an interesting move, high level move. So black wants to, for example, if knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5, and then knight g4. And that threatens to regain the pawn at e5. And if white is rash and plays pawn to f4, then queen c5 check, or bishop c5 check, and knight f2, or knight e3, or something like that. And if d takes e5, knight g4 as well. So this is a good move on black's part, and very thematic. Very thematic.
What happens if white doesn't take?
If white doesn't take, then black is going to take on d4 and leave white with a nice isolated queen bishop pawn. So white seems to have been caught a little flat-footed here. And d5 is impossible because of c takes d5, e takes d5, knight takes d5. So I think white's in a little bit of a sort of a bind here, and probably needs to play knight takes e5 here in order to. So it could also play knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5, knight g4, white can simply play knight to f3.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And then black can't take on e5, so black needs to find a move there.
Be interesting. White seems pretty aggressive so far.
Yeah, except the queen is, you know, the queen opposite the rook, and black is exploiting that very cleverly. Okay, let's move on to the next game. That's board 2. On board 3, veteran international master Elliot Winslow is playing Christian Clemens, expert Christian Clemens. I think has Christian beaten Elliot or come close to it? I think in a previous game. I need to bone up on my TNM history, on the history of the Tuesday night marathon. Another Slavish. Okay, so bishop g4, queen b3. This is what they recommend. The bishop leaves the queen side, play queen b3, and start targeting those light squares. Black plays queen b6, c5, and this is, you know, probably slightly better for white. This is maybe even book here. Black gives up the 2 bishops. So white has a very powerful initiative on the queen side. And possibly back here, instead of black playing pawn to e5, could have, well, no, you still can't play a6 because of b5 anyway. So temporarily, there's no way to prevent pawn to b5. Black goes for this and makes sense. So, yeah, white could take on c6 and play bishop a6.
Why not go to g6 before you go to e5? Prior to doing e5?
That was possible, I suppose.
Here.
Yeah.
b5's coming anyways.
Well, black's laying some claim to the center with
Fair.
pawn e5. I'm trying to get some play here. Okay, it's a game, folks. On board 4, we have Natalia Sodakova, women's FIDE master Natalia Sodakova, and she is black against Eiko Hidari, rated 1971. So this completes the master, unless there's some joining later in the tournament. Actually, there are some other masters in the tournament. They've been floored, though, I think. So we got a typical English opening here. And this is the Botvinnik system, I think that's called, where white plays pawn to e4. But I played h5 here in this position. Smooth G, hello. Saying Smooth G is giving us a shout out.
Oh, hey.
Telling us we're good chess players, but we know better. I played h5 here once in a tournament game against Sarawan, knight ge2, h4, h3, and it turned into a sharp game. But
why h5 versus the f5?
it's another way of playing. If you play f5, white can play e takes f5 and unleash this bishop.
It's aggressive.
So h5 is another way of sort of expanding on the king side and not allowing white to play e takes f5. So, but at this point, both players are just developing. And bishop e3, knight g4, now leap has got to be played. But Natalia plays f4, sacrificing a pawn. That might be good too. It seems to me that black can just play knight g4 with a great game here, chasing this good bishop and forcing it to move again. But f4, and white takes, and now knight h5. And Natalia's a very sharp player. This is typical of her style. This looks like the right response to play f5 in return and to sort of give back the pawn. If you take on e5, Black takes back with the pawn, and then he's got pressure down the d file, and the bishop is coming out. I don't know. It's possible, I guess. Knight d4. So she could obviously play g takes
Right.
f5 here, but again, she's playing a different sort of game here, and White's thinking. So that's sharp.
I really enjoy watching her play.
Yeah, she's a good player.
Yeah, it's very tactical.
Yeah, very tactical and plays aggressive openings.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, Daniel Smith rated 2147 on board 5 versus Michael Lum, rated 1914. And we have another queen pawn game here.
It's popular.
Yeah, it is popular. Okay, London system.
That's what I play.
Right. I've played in Blitz. If anybody plays Blitz one day and sees knight d5 here,
Mm-hmm.
bishop g3, knight b6, I've played that a few times. It's kind of silly, but
With the blitz.
yeah, and it takes people out of their book. So White, again, there's this idea of playing the queen out with the bishop at f5. It's always a risky strategy for Black to do this.
Interesting.
Rook c1 also was kind of to the point, maybe, with the
Yeah.
idea of taking and playing knight b5.
Maybe they're just developing right now.
Yeah, but
Probably.
sometimes you want to find those little strange moves.
Yeah.
So rook c1 would threaten to take on d5 and then play knight b5.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like if you're setting up for this, rook c1 and then develop more pieces. 'Cause that's what I'd play, but
Yeah, and now Black's chasing the
bishop.
bishop and losing some time. But that's a good strategy here. It's still anybody's game, folks, here in round 1 of the Yudacufski Memorial TNM. Here we have Michael Walter, another player that really likes sharp openings. And this looks like a King's Indian. And it is reached by this eccentric move order. We have a Samish King's Indian. It's not eccentric anymore. And the London is a very popular opening now. I see it at all levels, Carlson down to the club players. Yeah. What's with that? Everybody wants to go to London. What about the French defense? Right? Or or some fancy what about the fried liver attack? I guess nobody wants fried liver anymore. Okay, d5, e6. I've been seeing a lot of these kind of things. Natalia, I think, has played this with Black. Knight h5 is an interesting idea. So if knight takes h5, queen
Yeah,
h4
yeah.
check. Michael's a very booked up player.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, he can't play queen h4 check.
Black?
Yeah, Black can't play queen h4 check
It
because
just
of
comes
knight
back,
g3.
yeah, so you take first.
So Black is doing this in order to be able to play a quick f5 and open up some files. But this is very double-edged. I'm sure it's in the books. White struggles to catch up or tries to catch up in development, and Black's coming in with a very typical kind of dynamic Benoni, King's Indian Benoni kind of structure here. So the gloves are off in this game. Okay, Larry Snyder, expert Snyder versus A player Clarence Lehman. And these guys probably know each other. Maybe they've played each other chess a lot back in the old days. Let's see how this game went. It's a Scotch game. And I don't know this. Erica, do you happen to know this?
I do not.
Black threatens mate in 1, and White defends. A5, knight c3. Of course, that White
Yeah.
wants to jump into d5, and I guess that's even possible here. Knight d5, ed, knight e7. I guess that's Black is okay there. This is logical. And threatening knight c2 check, and aggressive play. Now that's not a move I would have thought of myself. It weakens all kinds of squares. It invites queen b6 even, or Black doesn't have to. Does Black have to worry about knight b5? I mean, maybe that's the problem. If maybe Black's already in a little bit of trouble here. If castles, knight b5, those silly amateurish moves can sometimes be super duper annoying. Although Black could play knight a6. Your dad, hi Daniel, your dad is playing somewhere in the tournament hall. Okay.
I think I've come across this opening just yet, actually. It's interesting.
F4. I'm not sure how, White could of course play e5 right away. Black takes the time to castle. Let's see, did White have something a little more pushy, like pawn to e5 and knight to e4? Maybe that's a little too soon. Okay, double edge position, and White's going right for it. And this looks like it's putting the knight in the way of the white pawns. But White does have a little bit of an issue here defending f4. If he has to play f5, the knight takes up a nice square on e5. So did White have another move here that's any other sort of great looking move?
Why not just develop the bishop out and then get the rook
Bishop
over?
to e2, yeah, I like that too. All right, g4, knight and f5. Okay, so White doesn't want to play knight e2, understandably. So f5, knight e5, and now bishop e2, I guess, or g5, or
Maybe g5? I mean, it looks like they're going the aggressive route.
yeah. White's making contact earlier than Black. I do prefer White here. Better developed,
Yeah.
freer pieces, pressure down the d file. Black,
Yeah, White looks really nice here.
yeah, I think so. Okay, let's move on. This is Jaden Zhu versus Brendan Estolas, who is the grandson of Ted Yudacufski, who this tournament is named after. So let's take a quick look at this game. And this, by the way, is board. Let me just show everybody. This is board 8 of the what we call the championship section, which is basically masters, experts, and A players. The top 8 boards that we're looking at are the top 8 boards, and you can see them over the players on the DGT boards above Erica and I. There's Felix German thinking in the blue shirt, and his back to us is Kyron Griffith, and Hosea Stearman is sitting next to Felix, playing David Askin, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is board 8 of the championship section, and we have a regular Queen's Indian this time, and Queen D3. This is certainly an ancient opening. I know Queen D3 has been played. Again, these are I'm more familiar with E4 positions.
Oh,
What about you?
I only play d4.
You only play
currently.
D4.
Yeah.
Okay. So D5, and White decides to take on D5 and play knight E5, and that looks logical. C5. Okay. Players are developing. That looks like a decent move. White stops for that, but I have a feeling Black is sort of getting what he wants here. It's still sharp though, and now this Black leaves himself with an isolated queen pawn, and but the Black has some very active play.
That's a nice play.
Yeah, knight c5 threatening knight b3 is possible too, but okay, bishop c5. Queen goes back to d3, and now I'm not sure what Black has accomplished with that. If d4, of course, bishop b7. I'm not.
So wait, go back. So you said if d4, bishop.
So right here,
b7?
Black took on d4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's maybe knight c7 here is with the idea of bringing the knight to e6 is possible. Also, as Daniel is pointing out, in this position, knight c5, intending knight e6 or knight b3 looks stronger. Bishop c5 looks, black has not successfully solved the opening problems yet with the weak d pawn. And I said if d4, wham, bishop takes b7. So black can't solve his problems that way. All right, finally, the top board in the A-B section. This we are also, I think it is, maybe it's not actually. Yeah, or I guess it is. This is the top board in the A-B, yes, the top board in the A-B section is Anthony Acosta, rated 1791 by obviously the top player in the A-B section, which is Guy Argo. And Anthony Acosta looks like he's acquitted himself very well here. It's a nice attacking formation against black. Let's see how this happened. Yeah, the knight was stuck on the edge in that other game. Let's see how this came about. Another center counter, this time with queen a5. And this bishop g4 move again, and white's wasting no time hitting the bishop around, castling. And this is probably book, but I'm not the most booked up player and never have been. But both players are developing. It looks reasonable. I like this f4 move, which I keep seeing now in these in this opening, with the idea of playing f5. Black already finds it difficult. He can't castle. If castles pawn to f5, wins a piece, because if e takes f5, queen takes e7. So black scrambles back with the queen. Luckily, it does threaten queen takes d4 check. Yes,
Why
Eric?
not just develop the knight? Instead of castling for now, just
That was possible
knight
too.
d7.
Yeah. So knight g7.
Yeah.
I guess white is going to play f5 though, and I think it's the same idea probably. Then after,
So f5, black does what? Takes?
I guess would
And then
take,
what?
and then maybe bishop out to g5 or something.
Right.
And black can't castle still because the bishop's hanging on e7. That's black's idea, whether it's right or not. He's trying to defend the bishop at e7 so he can castle. And white, of course, plays f5, and that's a very sharp move because the pawn at d4 is hanging. But I like it. And black probably has no time to take that pawn.
Well, yeah, that's why I would have kept the queen there, because then the knight wouldn't have come and taken it.
Yeah. Still, the problem then,
You still
though,
can't
would
castle,
be,
but then you still could have come back prior.
black, this is what black wants to do. Now plays knight g7.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything decisive here for white. Knight e4 threatens, of course, knight g6 or something like that, but black castles. And white's thinking. So white's got the initiative, but black wants to take on e4 and play the other knight to f6. So white will have to do something quickly to sustain it. On the other hand, white does have the two bishops. It's kind of, he has some long-term advantage here as well. So I prefer white, and I'll go on record. Finally, on our board 10, we have the top board in the under 1600 section. Oh, Daniel was talking about castling queenside. Daniel Perlov in that last game. This game has gone a long ways. Yeah. Well, the under that white especially has taken almost no time. Let's find out what happened here. Okay, Nimzovich defense, e4, knight c6, and white decides just to develop. Could play d4 too. And black's fine here. That's a little slow. a6. And knight a7. It's interesting. Players are going their own way. Black wants to play pawn to
C5.
c5, and white develops the bishop on a square where the knight could just take it. So I don't like that move.
Maybe with the idea of trade off, rook open line and knight castle. Something
Sure,
like that.
sure, but black has an option. Black can just sit.
Yeah, it's really unnecessary.
c5, and now the white bishop moves to d3. Why didn't it move to d3 in the first place?
This
I'm
is
not
like
sure.
A16?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
Takes.
black takes, and white does have the open f file, but needs to find a way to make use of it. And black is fond of this h6 and a6. There's no real reason to play h6 because if knight g5, queen takes g5, black could probably have found another more useful move like
Develop
bishop
piece,
d7
yeah.
or bishop e7 or something like that. A little bit of a waste of time. White brings the knight around, and now black plays bishop e7. And this is the only thing that white can do here, but it looks good. It looks good. And white's opening the game up, and now that then slows it down with h3, which is, again, well, it limits the range of the black bishop. Black wants to get this knight back into play, so should
Yeah.
think of, and does right away.
Also, when you're a little lower rated, you tend to be more precautious and kind of
Okay.
don't take those attacks.
So here, queen b6 suggests itself, hitting b2 and d4. Let's see what happens, and that's exactly what happens. And white offers the exchange of queens, and black spoils white's structure a little bit. But in this static kind of thing, and that's a good square, I'm not sure that the bishop should occupy that square. Yeah, and maybe h3 was definitely too slow.
Yeah.
And was prophylaxis for nothing. Back here, white played h3.
It was very unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, you know, connect the rooks, queen e2 or something like that. Okay, anyway, but, you know,
But
it's
white
not
loses
such a bad
white
move.
loses a piece here somehow.
How did white lose
That's
a
what I'm
piece?
curious.
Let's see.
At least that's what I saw, I believe.
Okay, black has definitely got the threat of taking on d4, or
Yeah.
taking on d2, and then taking on d4. Knight b1, bishop a5, knight a3 to defend at c2. But maybe knight c3 and defending at e2 is better.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rook e8, knight c2, bishop b6. White gets off that dangerous diagonal. And white's pieces are tied down. Knight e7. The rook is going to come over to the c file. b5,
White's just
a5.
trying everything.
Okay. b4. That looks wrong. I mean, can't black just make a
Just go,
protected
yeah.
pass pawn? Of course, knight a3. Well, then you have to worry about d4. I mean,
Seems like white's throwing everything they got.
yeah, white's
I know.
just impatient here. Knight f5, take, and
There we
white
go.
loses the exchange. If a takes b6, knight g3. So I'm not sure what white's trying to do here. And then he throws away a pawn. I guess if bishop takes b6, rook b1. But still, okay,
I
black
think
just
they
plays
want to go bishop b5 or something. I don't know. That's,
rook b8 is horribly passive move, but this is not going well for white, who's losing the pawn at b6, and black is starting to make some serious inroads.
yeah.
Picks up this pawn.
I'm assuming white took and then.
I think there's nothing that white's threatening to trap the black bishop. Okay, rook f3 check is a cute little tactic. So if white had taken on h3, rook takes
Yeah.
f3 check, king e2, then there was maybe still the possibility of playing rook b5. Okay, instead rook b5 right away, boom, whammo, rook f3 check and bishop g2. White has one last hope, and that's to somehow win the b7 pawn and queen. This is looking really bad for white rather. Okay, well, white's not spent much time.
No.
I'm going to look at the top four boards, and then we'll take a quick break, I think, if I can get cheat it in here. All right, so yeah, f4. G6, bishop C4, knight D5, knight E4, and then castles. Very dangerous for black here.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times has that queen moved? Well, that's a center counter. I'll find out, Daniel, who your dad's playing. Queen E1, prepares to bring the queen over to H4. Solid.
Would
Yeah.
not want to be Felix right now.
Yeah, white has a lot of pressure. Okay, passive system for black. Okay, and we got exactly what I thought. After E5, white thought for a long time and took with the pawn rather than with the knight. Knight G4 and plays bishop H3. Okay, so that's setting up this and we're getting a shout out from Bruce Ricard, who won his section,
Nice.
the AB section
Fun.
in the last Tuesday night marathon.
What, H5 now?
Bishop H3, and black, if black takes on E5, knight E5, knight E5, bishop C8. Black doesn't want to lose the exchange right now, plays H5, nice aggressive move. I don't like the way this has gone for white at all. Yeah, this is black is got a nice pressure here. Okay, I'm going to ask our Maven over there. Are you able to give us a break when in a few minutes, 5 minutes? Okay. Elliot Winslow versus Christian Clemens, and let's see, this was the queen side versus the center. Here come the pawns, folks. B5, G6, B4, bishop G7, takes, and there's that bishop A6 move I briefly mentioned. That is bishop to B7, very strong. Rook B8, B5 anyway. Yikes. If takes, pawn to C6 and pawn to C7. And black spent all this moves on this fancy development and needs to maybe figure out, is going to have to try to figure out a way to get out of this, or else he could suffer a quick loss. And Elliot is famous for winning quick games sometimes.
Didn't know that was his reputation.
Well, he won a game in 9 moves last Tuesday night.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I showed it during the lecture.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it was the last round game tied for second and third. So, and finally, Aiko Hidari versus Sodakova. This was a sharp game. We were here a little while ago. Knight D4, F4. That's a nice positive move. Knight F4. And that looks about right. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, and finally black regains the pawn. Black is doing fine here. Black is doing fine here after G takes F5. I mean, it's sharp.
Yeah, it's her play.
Yeah.
Who would you rather be?
I've had both. I guess black. Black has that nice knight at D4, and white doesn't have the corresponding knight at D5. Yeah. I don't think white ever really had an attack. I was going to take a break in a
Actually, don't take a break. Can I just fill in?
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and in my place will be Abel Telemontes,
And then
chess room director.
I can switch out if you want me to.
Huh?
Do you want me to switch out?
no, 'cause they might ask you. So then here, and then
hearing?
I don't have a mic.
Here's a mic.
Oh,
Oh, no. We got one.
I thought that you were my I'll stop playing with it.
We good to go? We live? So we're back on the broadcast. I'm filling in for Paul right now with Erica Malik in here. And with us is Vincent. He's from the Bright Knights Chess Club. Very cool organization. They do a lot of free chess for kids around San Francisco. And so thanks for joining us. We've worked together before at the last year's San Francisco Scholastic, but we've also been in contact with you and Judith with all the other Scholastic tournaments you do. Tell us about your organization and kind of what you do and the group that you have, and this is your opportunity to brag.
Sure. Well, I'm with Bright Knights Chess Club. We founded this in 1999. Our original goal was to make chess part of San Francisco culture. Like what we want to do is bring chess in the parks, chess in libraries, coffee shop, and we always try to also promote scholastic chess.
Like a general trying to go on this side and they're open on this side.
2003, we started the tournament focusing on youth chess, scholastic chess. We want to develop youth chess in San Francisco. That was in a time where chess was not popular in San Francisco. Popular in the Bay Area, like the South Bay, Wayne County, East Bay. Not so much in San Francisco. There was always the Mechanic Institute, but for the majority of kids who are new to chess, who didn't know how rated play was, it was a little intimidating for them. And that's when we started introducing chess to the local community, starting with the Excelsior District.
And actually, for the Mechanics Institute, kind of the reputation's always been more for like adults, like adult chess. It's only been like the last year where we're really kind of ramping up the tournament chess scene because Mechanics has done chess in the schools through a lot of free programs. And in the last year, we've been trying to offer like tournaments to get those kids from those schools trying out tournaments. But you did a really cool event during National Chess Day last year. Why don't you tell us about that? That was pretty unique.
Oh yes, we had the rare opportunity to do a chess tournament at the San Francisco International Airport. So we got to use the aviation museum. The room would held about 80 participating youth, and I think about 20 of them played chess for the very first time. Their very first chess tournament at a very historic building with high ceiling, and you have airplanes above you. It was a very cool experience, and that's something we strive for in our organization, is to bring unique events and unique chess experience to youth especially.
It was almost like a work of art. And it's how you got the airplanes and you got like a chess tournament going on. And, like, how do you go about picking like the venues? Because like you do chess in parks, in schools, the museum, like kind of like what do you look for when you look for like a venue for a tournament?
Well, for our organization, we always try and think about which neighborhood we haven't yet touched and how to get there. And we always try to think of places that have scenic view or go to neighborhoods that are less visited. Our goal is just, make chess as part of San Francisco culture, so we're trying to touch every part of San Francisco.
Oh, that's fantastic. And we look forward to you kind of being a part of the San Francisco Scholastic Tournament that we're going to have March 28th. It's a free tournament. It's open to any Scholastic player, absolutely free at Golden Gate Park. Maybe we can get Erica to come volunteer and be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I got a recruit here, so that's awesome.
I grew up going to Scholastic tournaments and
Perfect.
all of that.
And you won your first medal in 2003?
Yeah, I was looking back today, and I have a medal from 2003 from when I used to play in Scholastic tournaments. It's very cool what you're doing. I remember when there weren't chess clubs, and I had to organize my own chess clubs in like middle school and high school because I wanted to play, but there was no one around. So this is awesome what you're doing for the kids.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that's something we try to do, is just help others facilitate to create their own programs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And so we will see you on March 28th. And just give a big shout out to you and all of the volunteers and everyone that's part of Bright Knights. We love what you do, and we hope to continue partnering in every way to spread chess around San Francisco for the kids.
Thank you. And, we always enjoy working with the Mechanics because you guys are the historic organization. And you know, there's a lot of chess knowledge here and a lot of history. So we always enjoy working with you folks.
Perfect.
here.
Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So how are the games looking here?
I mean, it's interesting. A lot of D4 is what we've seen. A lot of London.
Oh, everyone's going D4, and how's Felix?
Felix isn't looking too hot, but I'm still rooting for him right now.
You're talking about his game, or you?
I'm rooting for him in terms of our friendship, but his game's a little
It's a little off right now.
concerning. I want to skip over to Natalia's real quick. Where were we before? F4.
And then we're gonna need to get Paul back in here because
Yeah.
I certainly do not know what I'm talking about. Well, I'll let him rest over there.
Neither do
Actually, this is a pretty good matchup, I think. I don't know that they've even ever played before. Thank you. See you. I don't think they've ever played before. Akko's a pretty strong player.
He's holding his own fairly well. Natalia, I really love her tactics.
Yes.
Doesn't really play too much book, so that's my goal one day.
To get to
To
Natalia
get
level.
to Natalia's level.
Yeah.
From one Russian to another.
Wow. So Akko's coming out.
Right, yeah, the Russians are coming. The Russians are
Yeah.
strong. You were talking about playing the Filipinos, but
The
what's
Russians
the
are
Russians?
very, very strong. I
Yeah.
think Natalia's actually won the women's tournament that they host in Berkeley. That's coming up this weekend.
She won it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. By virtue of
And what tournament is
Carla
that?
not being. I think she was not a California resident. It was something like that.
Ooh, those are fighting words. Are you saying that Natalia wouldn't have won if Carlos
No, that's
played?
what happened. Carla had a higher score, but because
Oh,
Ah.
really?
Yeah.
because she wasn't a California resident or something like that.
It's
Is this a
Semantics.
senior? No, no, no.
No, it was
It's
the,
not senior.
the women's
Right.
state championship.
Carla.
Which is happening this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you playing?
I'm considering.
You should play, definitely.
I'm moving, so I may or may not be playing.
Haven't you moved already though?
No, I have not moved
Oh,
already.
okay. So you're gonna not play in the women's state championship because you're moving.
My heart is breaking internally right now. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
It made it sound like
I want to know where you got your sweater. The horses. The
It's
ze-
one zebra.
The one
Just
zebra
one
and the
zebra.
horses.
One zebra.
That's a really
Well,
cool
that's-
sweater.
That's right.
Thank
The
you,
zebra.
Yeah.
I just like that it's a bit unique,
A little
kind of
different.
like
Yeah.
me.
Sure.
But the idea, let's go back to that street chess idea real quick, or chess,
kind of opened.
or chess at a bar. If I get you a bar, can we organize something? Because I think I can probably have someone who owns a bar be okay with that.
There's a bar downstairs.
Bar
The
downstairs.
Mechanics Institute actually rents out to a bar.
There's a bar in the
Right.
Mission.
Right.
And they've talked about chess down there. They have. They've talked about having at
don't
least a
think-
chess table out there. So they might be
Well, I
somebody.
haven't
to-
seen that. Like,
Right, but they talked about it initially quite a while ago.
I thought it'd be cool, like on Maiden Lane. Over
Oh
there.
yeah.
Because it's sort of like a closed off like street
Exhibition.
area. It'd be nice to just pop some of those tables that we use here that we put in the other room. That would be a cool spot because there's no vehicle traffic going through there. I don't know what it would take to just plop tables out there. And
We should try it and see.
get some see if they kick us out. Right? I mean, I love the idea of outdoor chess. I love watching it. It's just like a spectacle.
Yeah.
It's just, everything that it takes nowadays to kind of secure that.
There's a little bit of that, a little bit of outdoor chess here still at Yerba Buena
Yeah,
Gardens.
the Filipinos
The
still
parks,
play.
yeah, at the parks, but
There's a couple cafes in the Mission where they play on Dolores sometimes.
because I know one of the cool things about kind of the traditional street chess is like when people would be taking like the tour buses, they're looking out and they see a bunch of games going on.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be kind of like a cool thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's, oh, look what's happening in San Francisco.
It was so much fun. You would have random tourists stop by, and then you would just have people play. And growing
People
up,
trying to hustle them.
people
for
trying to
money.
hustle, but like because I wasn't trying to hustle anyone, I never asked for any
Because she would
money.
never try that. Right
But
there.
the homeless people would actually bet on me against these travelers
Nice.
coming in, and I just got to play and
Right.
play and play, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah. So
Well,
I'm sure she'll remind me about street chess. Where are we at
If
with that?
I can get a bar sign off, like I'm expecting you to do the rest. Like if a bar is saying
Wow.
okay of hosting a chess tournament, what It doesn't need to be rated, right? That takes out the concerns of people drinking beer,
I mean,
like me.
it doesn't even have to be. I mean, you can just players getting together and playing chess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, let's see what's
For
possible.
blood. For beer and blood.
See, you,
Sounds
you have
fun.
to take it next level. All right, I'm gonna let Paul
Okay.
kind of jump in. With
I'm
the
rolling
games.
back in.
Let's keep that conversation of street chess because I am a
Okay.
fan of street chess. Yeah. Do
Okay.
your thing. All right.
All right. Back here for more live commentary
Here.
on
I'll
rounds.
maneuver it, and you tell me which game we should look at.
Oh, let's look at number 5.
Number 5 it
We'll
is.
just keep going down the line.
Where do we stop at?
Somewhere around here. Yeah.
One move
Okay.
back.
Now after knight h5, bishop went back to g3, and black took. Okay, keep rolling. Okay, white does the same thing to black, and attempts to take off the opposing bishop. But actually, this is quite strong move, because if bishop g6, knight g6, black can't take back with the h pawn.
Yeah, to take a.
And so already this is problematic for black. So,
Why not just leave the bishop here for now?
well,
Or
yeah. But the problem is then if knight
Regular
f5, ef5, c takes d5. So there's issues for black here. It did not solve his opening problems. Bishop d6 looks like a bad, go back after hg3. Yeah, so, yeah,
go back further.
no, right here, hg3, no, that's good. Now maybe black should play something other than the move played, like h6,
Yeah, h6 seems fairly good right now.
or bishop e7.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bishop e7, guarding against this knight h4 move. Okay, it'd probably help if I, but
I've
you
been
go-
banned from the.
No, go ahead, go ahead. You can do the mouse
Okay.
for a while. All right, let's go Melville Walder.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back a few moves here. Okay, to here.
Okay.
Go back one more move. White castles. Okay, and black plays f4. It's got a nice bind on these dark squares and a beautiful square for the knight at e5. Or any piece that decides to show up there.
It goes back.
Yeah. It can be a little bit difficult maybe for black to break through on the king side, but maybe tripling major pieces on the g file is something to aim at.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't be worried about black taking on d3, so that looks like it might be a waste of time.
And there
g5,
Black's trying to get in there.
d7. I think, yeah. I mean, white is worried here because of tripling on the G file, maybe with the heavy pieces, but also trying to make something. It looks to me like opening up the position, but it's hard to suggest a plan for white, actually. So, knight g6.
And now white's thinking.
So black wants to take on g3. Okay,
Yeah.
rook g1 looks logical. All right, so throwing dust into black's eyes here, or trying to get out of a kind of a situation.
Do you think black will push h4
That's possible.
and then
And then white could,
G4. maybe?
yeah, also white could take on h4.
Could, yeah, actually.
So, oh, okay. All right, Snyder Lehman. This game was going downhill for black, I thought. Queen f4 is it's a nice kind of a, but queen, maybe bishop e2 again, and queen d4, and I mean, white is going to be better in the end games here and everything.
Why not rook g1 by any chance?
Rook g1, maybe. With the idea of playing f6, or you can
Yeah.
play f6 right away.
Yeah.
And so giving black a chance to play f6 might have been wrong. slows the attack down. White could think about playing f6 right here, for sure. All right, but 'twas not to be. And this is a little slower, and black, this doesn't. I'm going to ask, Daniel, I'm going to ask Judith who your father's playing. Who is Daniel Perlov's dad?
He's playing a last minute pairing with Ethan Boldy.
He's playing Ethan Boldy. So he's got a tough opponent. It's not on the GGT boards.
Let me change the camera so we can see a little bit.
So if e takes d5, maybe, I mean, black could play f takes g5. This is getting sharp
There
here. But I like white. White should be doing very well here. I don't see anything obvious. I guess if e takes d5, f takes g5, and then black can take on f5. Ah, look, the view above Erica and I, Daniel. You can actually see your dad there. Let's hope he's doing well. The board is broken. Which board is broken? Bruce, record. You can't see the H file. Huh.
Oh, yeah, because it's cut off. I can see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah, because,
All right, we're going to get that. We're going to take a few-minute break and get that fixed. Back in a minute. Thank you, Daniel. Okay, we're back at the Yudacufski Memorial Tuesday Night Marathon, and we've got the board fix. I'm FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. With me is Erica Malakin, one of our club stalwarts. And Erica, I was going to ask you about the Russians. There's some of them I haven't seen in a while, like trout. Do you know?
I actually stay away from the Russians.
You do?
Just because growing up at mechanics, pretty much I've seen all these Russians to go through ups and downs.
Right.
And I just like to not get involved with them. I only really like to follow the ones that I enjoy, and right now that's just Natalia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So sorry.
Yeah, I
to
just don't
disappoint.
know. There's some of them are MIA, so.
Some of them live far also, so it's a bit of a commute for
Right.
them. Yeah. Oh, well.
So Hosea, we're looking at Hosea's game here, and it looks like he just set up a devilish trap, which was, let's go back to this. He loves tactics, and White plays knight h4, Black plays knight e5, and now knight f5, and so David's mixing it up, attacking the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Queen moves to c7, which keeps support on e5, and also threatens bishop d2, queen d2, knight f3, check, forking the king and queen. It looks to me like White is in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, White's in a pickle.
Pickle. Is that a chess expression? But f4 is played pretty quickly, and now what's going on? I guess if bishop d2, all right, let's look at some lines here. If bishop d2, I mean, Black has problems on g7 too. So, for example, if something like bishop d2, queen d2, knight c4, then maybe queen d4, or rook c4 and queen d4 and wins a piece because of the threats on g7. So this is a dangerous, dangerous position. Black could throw in bishop c5 check. I'm not sure what it does. White moves the king, say to h1. That's probably the safest spot. Although then Black could play knight f2 check, but then rook f2, bishop f2, and takes on e5. Hosea could be in some trouble here.
Do you typically recommend trading the knight and the bishop for a rook, or not at all?
Always depends on the position. It always depends. Okay, rook d8. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's a nice move, of course, threatening the knight on d2 and giving White no chance to take on. And also the king can escape maybe, or bishop can go back to f8. It's a nice looking move. So still some troubles for White. It hasn't quite successfully. So if knight f3, for example, knight takes f3 and rook d2, and that looks like it's all over just about. The queen attacked. So rook d1 maybe? All right, we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this. It's complicated. We'll let Hosea figure it out for us. On board one, let's go back to board one, and then we'll go to board three. Board one, Kyron Griffith is still exerting a lot of pressure on Felix. A lot of pressure here.
You can just see on the camera also, he's feeling it.
Yeah, okay, so Felix is the gentleman in the blue t-shirt, and Kyron is thinking. Is Felix one of those people that stays at the board the whole game?
He'll get up and walk around every once in a while.
Right. That always interests me. What about you?
I have to get up.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm ants in my pants. I've got to go.
Well, yeah, I also know that if I sit at the board too long, I'll make a rash move. So I'd rather get up and like burn some time and just clear the head.
Very good thought. Very good thought. Yeah. Well, White's still on top here with a nice space advantage. All right, we'll go down to board three where Winslow had this position, and black thought for 3 minutes, took on b5, he didn't really have a choice,
Yeah.
I think. The only question is, does this win right on the spot? And white could play c7, and then I mean, what's black going to do? He has to play rook c8, forced, in order to avoid losing a whole rook. Oh, I guess he could play rook a8, but then bishop b7. So that's possible. That's actually possible. White sees that. Looks to me like black's game is falling apart here, though. G takes e5. What's this knight doing? Knight h5, c7 now, rook a8. Okay, so that's the antidote, if you can call it that. Check. Probably a forced win for white. This is just, now bishop a3 check. White's just have a complete domination of the position here.
Poor Christian.
Yeah, this is a disaster for black. The opening, he played too slowly. Fianchettoing the bishop over there and Elliott was more aware tactically. So that's the story of that game. Here we were here. Natalia took on f5, queen h5, bishop e6, bishop g5, queen d7. I'm not sure what these white moves are doing. Bishop d5 is definitely a commitment. On the other hand, black can't play white starting knight e7 check and knight g6, or taking on f5, or some combination of that. All right, so white could have taken back, white could take back with the e4 pawn with the idea of playing rook e1 and jumping into e6. So I think that looks to me better than this. So there's still.
Maybe white's thinking he's taking on f.
Yeah,
That's
well,
for that sake.
Right. Black has a few things to worry about, but I like black's game still. That knight on d4 is a monster. Okay, let's mosey on here with experts. Daniel Smith hitting Michael Lund with this. Threats on d5, threats to take and go knight b5. And that bishop e4 took advantage of the fact that white couldn't play f3 because the bishop takes g3 check. So that was a clever move, which you and I didn't see. Okay, and black is going into another think here. Oh, it's this has worked out very well for white. Black went on a little expedition. I think white has a nice position here. Maybe g5, something radical. I don't know.
Why not, for white, take the bishop?
Instead of rook c1, that looked like a good move too. I mean, I think white has a pleasant position here. You got to watch that your knight doesn't get cut off, right? If you take here, I might be threatening to play pawn to g5. So
yeah, that makes sense. Making room for
yeah.
maybe.
Okay, rook c1, and black, there's threats on d5, threats on taking in knight b5 or something like that. All right, black under pressure, and this was another, g3 was played, and Michael went back with the knight, and rook g1, we saw this, queen f6, and still white is under some pressure here. And black can even, play b5 at some point, and knight e5, knight can always return to e5, and it's a nice position for black. A lot of dynamic potential here. Okay, that's my opinion. This is Snyder Lehman, and this, let's see, queen f4, f6, h4, d5 was played, and white just decided to hold the fort. But the bishop, I don't like the bishop on h3. It does nothing, although it does defend the suddenly vulnerable pawn at f5. So Queen c7 with the cheap threat of knight d3 check.
Those are fun.
King b1, b5. Wow, Clarence is totally going for it here. Let's see. I guess if white takes on b5 with a pawn, then pawn to a4. So, I mean, black is trying to break through here. It's queen side versus king side. g6 takes, knight takes, and that might have helped white. I'm not sure that that was, yeah, but
Bring your rook over now.
also black could maybe play h6
Yeah.
and then just,
Sit.
of course, if pawn takes pawn check, king h8, it's typical in these positions. Very, very tense game. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure the players know what's going on. I'm not sure Stockfish would even know what's going on. Thanks to everybody who's watching. Shout out to all the chess players out there in chess world.
Where are you guys streaming this? Where do you guys stream it? On Twitch?
Twitch, and then we upload it to YouTube.
Very
All the
cool.
videos are uploaded to YouTube after that.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to board 8,
Oh.
where a very interesting endgame here, where black is probably balanced. There's a few cheap knight forks coming up. If bishop h7, knight g5 check, etc., etc. White, looks to me like white should play king e3 and then throw the f pawn up and try to make a pass pawn. I have a feeling it's a balanced position, and it's very difficult to say who is better. The next few moves will tell a lot of story. I'm not sure that the king should be going in that direction, but maybe. It's complicated. It might be actually very good to try to muscle in and win another pawn over there. The bishop is better in these pawns on both sides. It can control both sides of the board.
Knight's pretty strong too.
Yep, they are. Yeah. And that's why you're wearing horses, right?
That is why I'm wearing
Right.
horses.
You like knights better than
In the end game, I would prefer to have a knight if it depends on the
Interesting.
position.
Okay.
I know that two bishops are always stronger, but if it's a bishop versus knight, I feel like it's more tactical.
Okay.
It's more fun.
Yeah, okay. This game is looking, again, slightly better for white with the two bishops.
Yeah.
And
Is it true? I've heard that the two bishops make it's 6 points. It gives you half a point more.
then a knight and a bishop.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't boil chess down to
No,
these
I know,
number
but
things.
sometimes like you hear these things. I'm just curious if that's what it actually, if there's any meaning behind it. Of course, there's always like tactics and
Yeah.
like its position.
All that stuff is more important, I think, than counting the numbers. But
Agreed.
top players do like the two bishops, but there are exceptions. Petrosian and Anand both like the knights, seems to have a preference for knights. So, it's the chess player, it's the position, it's how much you like to play those kind of positions.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, it can be very individualistic. That's what gives chess its charm. This is, by the way, so we're looking at board 1 of the A-B section. Guy Argo is rated 1970 and is the top board. He's playing a B player. Anthony Consa, you're going to join in?
Next
round?
I took a bye for this. And
Okay.
I'll join in next round.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, I see your name down here now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully, this is helping your chess a little bit.
Absolutely, it is.
Okay,
It's always
good.
fun to analyze games.
Cool. All right. Now we are down to the top board in the under 1600 section, and this is looking very, very lost for white, who, has only taken, what's the time control? Game in 2 hours?
Yeah.
No.
They haven't really
White,
thought for very long.
right. If white plays rook h4, king g3, followed by, for example, rook f5, rook b1, rook f1, king f1, king h2, and the g pawn marches in. This is completely lost for Jerry Simpkins in the top board. And Paul Krasnowski is rated, let's see, he's definitely bringing home the bacon in this game. He's rated 1187, and Jerry is top board for the. So Jerry, who's going down in this game, is.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, well, players at this level are especially if they're young.
Yeah,
and I don't know if
scary.
I don't know if Paul Krasnowski is a kid or not. But if he's a kid, I'd say watch out.
They're always scared the lower rated they are. When you come across one, because they study so much and whatnot, you never know. They make these jumps very quickly.
And they're good at calculating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's that for the 10 boards. We'll run up to the top again and see how Kyron is doing. He's played knight g4. And so that leaves open the possibility of playing pawn to f5, knight to h6 check. Knight to g5 is probably more of a threat now because it'll force pawn to h5, and then white can play pawn to f5. This is looking critical for black, I would say. What happens if black plays pawn to f5? I guess knight to g5, and that's... Then black has to play pawn to h5, and I guess white can sink a knight into e6, or the knight can go back to e5. That's not going to work. That's going to just be... I mean, black is probably going to have to do that, play f5, but it's terrible. It's just terrible. Back to the drawing board for black on this opening. Okay, and... Now we have this really tense game here, and white's gotten into a big think here, and I guess that's a sign that maybe things aren't going so well for white here. He has to deal with the threat of taking on d2 right away. Other moves possible for black, of course, are knight d3, rook d3.
A lot of some options.
White needs to defend the knight at d2, so maybe bishop c3 is a possibility. It's complicated. It's hard to analyze this. If bishop c3, maybe bishop check and knight d3 or something like that. And then, okay, so he plays knight b3. So now, if knight c4, white can take down on g7 with some piece or other. And then black can fork at e3. So I have a feeling this is working out for black. Maybe knight c4 is just a simple, strong move. If bishop g7, knight goes into e3. Hey, Caesar.
Hey, Caesar.
Saying hi. Thanks for joining us and keeping me awake. I woke up very early this morning, and I had a dream that I was playing Nakamura, a blitz match.
Wow.
And I was ahead 2-0.
Wow.
And then some strange things happened, like some doors opened. We weren't exactly playing under tournament conditions, and a cat walked in and sort of walked in one door and out the other door. So I think it sort of kept me awake, maybe a little bit.
At least you were up 2-0.
Yeah, it was up 2-0, so I was beating Nakamura a match in my dreams. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Bishop c4 looks strong. It looks like a possibility here too. If fe5, then bishop d3 or something like. Josiah is a very strong calculator. If there's a forced continuation here, he's going to find it. This is not the kind of thing I would want to find my position. I would want to find myself again, unless I knew exactly what was going on against a player like Hosea, who's the guy to beat in this tournament. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, but maybe it's going to be Winslow.
Oh.
So C7, Rook A8, Bishop check, King F4, A6,
Hey,
and
what
that
are you
just
doing in here? Making points? Cookie points.
okay. We're having a broadcast, so
I can see what you're doing.
So-
that's all.
you're
Keep- yeah.
hello, and then
I
we'll.
can see it. Let me get you another jacket.
So Bishop A6 and 3, 4, 5, 6,
Can you
4,
give us,
5.
Can you give us?
No, I can't. Go talk to the tournament director. I'm providing commentary online here.
He doesn't let you handle anything?
Thanks for coming by and making a pain, being a pain.
It's what he's known for, so it's okay.
Yeah.
He's a character.
Yes, one of the characters
Every time
in
we play, he asks me if I'm married, and then tells me he has sons. So.
and daughters actually.
And daughters
yeah,
too.
Right. Yeah, I've heard those stories. Chess seems like a very stand-up lad. He just got mated. That's what happened.
I don't know if that's a joke
I'm not.
or what.
Yeah, maybe
Not
it is.
gonna touch
Maybe
that
it's a
one.
joke. Yeah. Bishop A6. So Elliot's got an extra 2 pawns, and
Black's not looking.
Black is not looking good here. Although he's managed to survive for a few moves here. Okay, Aiko versus Natalia, it went knight g5, bishop g5, c takes d5, and queen f7.
Trying to trade.
Yeah, I think this endgame is good for black,
Yeah.
and white avoids it, but maybe not for any good reason. But f4 takes advantage of the fact that white cannot take on f4 because of knight e2 check.
It's nice.
And that means that black is going to play pawn to f3. Okay, so the game is still very much heating up here. Anything is possible. And we have Daniel Smith versus Michael Lum. Let's see how this game. Rook c1. Black got the queen off the c file, and now white brings the knight back to f3. I'm not sure that that's the way to handle this position. But white wants to take on e4 and then play knight d2. If he takes on e4 right away, then black takes back and is threatening g5.
Yep.
So, all right, it's a game.
Something.
It's a game. And this is Melville bringing the rook over to the e file. I like the way black's pieces are massed over there on the king's side, although it's still, the game's got a long ways to go, and sometimes these positions can go wrong. This sharp game where I never knew what's g6, ba4, knight a4, d takes e4, d takes e4, h5, and black can, looks to me like black can lock it up with h6
Yeah.
here. I don't see a way for white to make progress.
Why not? Why didn't white take on h and then bring the rook over on g1?
Good question. I think I would have done that.
Because
think,
you're
yeah.
just allowing every time to close it off with h6. Maybe they.
It's
see
very
something
sharp
like
position. I mean, white's got moves like knight c5 and knight e6, but white should play h6 here or something like that. This bishop on h3 is a
yeah.
mess.
I don't really do anything.
Okay, let's move on. Jaden Zhu versus Brendan Astolas. And Jaden has played well here to get this potential pass pawn. I think this should end in a draw. but
Most likely.
white is pressing a little bit here. Okay. Top board in the AB section. This game there's a huge time differential here, which you folks at home can't see, but black has an hour and a half left, and white has 30 minutes. So the time control is game in 2 with a delay 5.
Bishop.
I'm not sure what white is thinking of. Just a simple move like bishop d2 maybe here, or bishop h6. Just play it. Just play it, and then rook e8, queen f2, or queen c2, or something.
Plenty of options.
Don't think too long. You can overthink things in chess, and this is not looking good for Jerry, who's about to get checkmated. Yep, no way out of this. On the top board in the under 1600 section is being won by the underdog, by a serious underdog. Paul Krasnowski rated 1187 versus Jerry Simpkins rated 1539.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so black plays h5, and that just looks to me like it creates a lot more possibilities for white with moves like f5 and targeting g6, and black's position is creaking here. Creaking. It's creaking. Creaking. All right, Stearman, asking Stearman. Let's see, this is very interesting. Knight takes c4 was played. All right, with the idea of coming into e3. Can white take on g7? No. Gets rid of the threat of knight e3 first, and then now takes on g7. That makes sense. And then what is black going to do? Maybe play knight d2? Black needs to show something here. This could be trouble for black too. If the knight e3, that's possible. And if knight e3, bishop f1.
Knight e3, you could do that. Knight
knight a3.
a3, attacking the queen and the rook.
Yeah, but I don't like putting the knight all the way out there. Right now, there's threats here. Like if knight a3, queen b2, maybe.
And take the rook.
And then let's say I play bishop h6 or.
I still feel like you're fine. White's pieces are still pretty far out, especially if you bring the queen over. But maybe.
Danger. Danger. Yeah, we will take a break and we'll be back in a few minutes to look at Elliot Winslow's game versus Christian Clemens. Thanks for joining us, folks. Bye. Okay, we're back, folks, at the Yudacufski Memorial Tuesday Night Marathon. FIDE Master Paul Whitehead sitting here with Erica Malikan, and we are discussing the first rounds of the Tuesday night marathon, 7 rounds.
Hopefully. Knock on wood.
Yeah, well, no, it'll be it's 7 rounds.
No fires.
And, right, 7 rounds. And we're showing the top 8 boards on GGT boards. If you want, we're using human analysis here. And we are not using so we're not using Stockfish. If you want, though, you can go to Chess24 and see these games with Stockfish analysis, and then you can get back to me on the chat and tell me just how badly I'm commenting. Yeah, but I like to think that I do a pretty decent job here. I'm not aiming my commentary extremely high. I'm just, you know, we're at the club level here. These are club players, for the most part. Some of them are stronger than others, but let's see what's going on here. FIDE Master Kyron Griffith is playing expert Felix German, and he's thinking after h5, probably thinking about how to bring home the bacon. Maybe not, the knight could go back to e5 again, and that threatens f5 probably.
Yeah.
And hi, Daniel. Hi, everybody out there.
Sorry.
Okay, no, fine. All right, board 2 has gotten really tense. This is, to say that this is a double-edged game is like beyond. It's a real nail biter here. Material is equal. Black looks like white looks like he's ready to give up some material.
Yeah.
To try to mate black on the dark squares, or is black mating white? I'm not sure. This position could have.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, it's difficult to know exactly what white should do. If ever I wanted a computer to tell me, well, you're missing a knockout blow here, you know. But I like, you know, David Askin has done what he needed to do, which was make a fight of this. Black played really aggressively. I mean, if we go back here, you know, this thematic e5 move followed by, you know, bishop hc is a pretty testing move. Black can't take on e5 without losing on c8, and and then knight h4, sort of little jolts there for black with the idea of playing knight f5, and white ends up sort of starting his own attack. Crazily enough here, rook g8 threatens d2, and white plays knight b3, and then this was maybe a turning point. Black possibly could have played bishop c4. I'm not sure, but he played knight c4, and white eliminated the knight on g4, which is probably a good idea.
Putting a lot of pressure.
And then took on g7.
So now, are you thinking knight e3 here now?
Well, then knight takes e3.
I mean, and then yeah,
And
you have
then-
your choice of the rook, the bishop.
Yeah. Well, white's got
King
some
gets
play
his way.
here. White's got some play here. I'd be a little.
They both do.
Yeah. All right. We can't figure it out. This game is going all white's way here. 2 pawns ahead. Just needs to catch up a little bit in development. Perhaps Elliot's been kind of overthinking this. He looks to me like he was just winning easily. And now if he loses the c7 pawn, which he probably, a good chance he will, yeah, but black has to get that knight at h5 into the game. This is just looking, black has to play pawn to f6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and white needs development too. So that both players, their pieces are scattered all over the board. And Clemens has fought back well here. I'm not really sure. You know, for example, after knight b6, you know, white could have just played c7 and bishop b7 and black castles and then just take the rook on
Yeah.
a8. You know, so, but this is not bad, and do it this way instead and take another pawn. Sure, why not? And then protect that pawn. And black just gives away this pawn. I guess he's counting on the pin on the white. Looks like white could play rook a6, but he plays as well. But he plays bishop a6, king e6. So black is muddying the waters, as they say, and but it looks to me like white should be able to consolidate and win this game. All right, let's see how Natalia is doing. So after f4, white plays bishop h3, which is taking advantage of that e6 square. And Natalia's in a long think here. King h8 looks like the right, sort of like the right move to me. You know, get the king, get that king off the, yeah, get that king off the g8, f7, g8, a2 diagonal with that bishop, so the knight can move. All right, that's my thought. Smith and Lum. All right, this game is getting very, okay, black's faced with the same issue. Now it's even worse because black seems to be missing some shots here. Knight g6, c5 is strong because if the bishop goes back to c7, hello. If the bishop goes back to c7, queen takes b7 wins. If the bishop goes back this way, then knight to e5 and knight takes g6, and he has to take, yeah.
It seems like a wasted move to just move the bishop around now. How many times?
Yeah, black has lost the thread of this game here. Maybe the knight h5, you know, and you have to be, if you're going to play your bishop out, let's talk about this. If you're going to play your bishop out, you've got to be fully aware that this is going to happen. You know, do you want to play queen ca with your queen on the, you know, getting into trouble over here? Knight c3 already threatening moves like knight b5, and then the rook opposite comes with the rook. Black wastes a little bit of time here. This exchange actually didn't do black any good, as it turns out. Bishop is vulnerable on that square. Bishop e7 was much better, I think, and castles. The bishop d6 is a definite mistake. Knight h4, black has to go through these contortions.
Yeah.
And now maybe he should have just taken on f3. Yep, he should have taken on f3.
I thought that was originally the goal of e4, bishop e4 is to just take
And now white's going to play knight e5 and knight takes g6, and black will have to take back with the f pawn, and that'll be just horrible. Positionally, very bad for black. Very bad. White's going to play f4, and then the white bishop will be very strong.
Yep.
Okay, Michael Walder, and white has decided to lock it up. I can't blame him. And so, did black have an alternative? Possibly could have taken on g3, could have possibly taken on g3 and then played h4 if you want to try to open up the dark squares. Yeah, the previous Slav position, Murfinsky, terrible for black, just terrible. But here, maybe Michael misses a chance to take on g3 and then play pawn to h4 and keep the game open. I'm not sure that this is, now the game is going to be played on the queen side.
Yep.
Probably. I think this is a good decision by white, for sure. I mean, there's still some dangers of sacrifices on g4 and so on and so forth with by the bishop or the knight, and black can increase the pressure with h5. But
white looks better than they were before.
yeah, I think white's recovered a little bit there. Maybe black chose the wrong plan. All right, Snyder, finally h6 is played.
That's funny, where you're pretty much asking for that move.
Yeah, and now white's thinking, how do I make progress? It's kind of a bewildering position here.
I don't know why white allowed for h6. I think white should have taken H7.
Yeah, I think white should have played
Yeah.
H6 himself or something
Yeah.
like that. This is scary for black, but it's not going to be easy to break this down. So black needs to get really active fast here. Black is almost better here. Bishop can come
Well,
to
now,
A6
yeah.
maybe,
Not
and
very-
this white bishop is
This
terrible.
white bishop needs to get in the game. Maybe
Yeah,
like
to F1
F1.
and yeah. All right, still though it's very complicated. What is going on here? King G7, and it looks to me like black has gone
Interesting.
now if King F8,
You can't. Sorry.
King H2,
There you go. Okay.
and black plays King G3, and that's probably a draw. There's no way white can keep the pawn here. A5, now King F8, and King H2, G4. It's a little complicated here. And then if black can play B4, distract the white bishop, and then try to take the last white pawn.
These positions are always interesting.
Yeah, this is so King F8, I guess, and now I think black should play King H2. Could play B4 first, maybe. But King H2 looks
Maybe
logical.
B4 first, and then King H2.
King H2, G4. If white can throw this pawn up and then play King G7 and King takes H7, black is going to be in serious trouble here. Let's try to figure this out. Let's just try.
Sounds good.
All right, King H2, G4, King G3, G5, King F4. All right, okay, so on G4, King G3, white has to play King G7, and then B4, let's say takes, it looks like white's winning. I think white might be winning this. Although my brain is pretty,
King
after beating
G3.
Nakamura in my dreams, my brain is pretty fried
So King G3,
at this point.
and then you're saying what?
All right, King G3, King
G7?
G7,
Yeah, I think white,
and if
white's on it.
B4, and if pawn to B4 takes, King takes H7, and now if B3, G5 just wins. Hi, Rekha.
Hey.
All right. Rekha's getting in on the action here. That's Rekha Starry,
Okay.
the one of the tournament directors for the Mechanics Institute, as well as I heard she might be having a birthday coming up. I'm not sure. I don't know if I should have mentioned that. But
Probably she should be studying to her SAT.
okay, your mom says you should be studying your SATs.
Yikes.
Nope.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. A takes B4.
Okay.
A takes B4. King to G7. Oh no, then that's probably a draw. Maybe King G3, G5. It's a win for white. G5, King F4, and if G6, B3, B2, and you can't play Bishop F5 because the king is at F4. Oh, that's confusing. So if A takes B4,
Correct.
A takes B4,
King G3.
King G3,
King what? G7.
King G7,
B3.
B3, King H7, B2. Yeah,
B2.
I'm a little, let's try to find some other move for white then to try to win, because that's a draw. takes, king g3. I think black has to do this.
Okay, so A takes B,
King g3.
King G3.
Let's try g5.
What
g5,
about
then
bishop?
just king
What
f4.
about bishop
f5.
before?
Well, then.
And then let him run those two moves, and then King G7.
Yeah, but I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play king f4, I think, and then if you play king h7, I'm gonna play b3.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna see. Everything will become clear maybe in a couple of minutes. What, Rekha? You're young. What, Rekha? It looks to me like a draw. Rekha's studying for calculus. So, all right, so white's problem is
And why can't we do G5 now?
okay, g5, king f4.
King F4.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and then look at this little fancy move. That can't have any relevance here. Okay, put the king on h5 and play bishop f5. That's what looks like what he's doing. Wow. Is that really gonna work? Nice. Very nice. And then if king g3, yeah, that's it. Okay, Murfinsky. That's it. The king comes up. The king doesn't take the h7 pawn. A great illustration of the illogic of chess here. Okay, now if g5, king f4, and the bishop comes, can the bishop come back on the diagonal? I think so. If white plays bishop f5, b2, king h5. That's just a win for white.
Nice.
Yeah, well, okay, thanks everybody for helping me with that. And I'm probably missing something easy. What about this game? This is the top board in the AB, and white is just playing like a monster here. It's converted an advantage, the advantage that he had. He's now dominating the E file, pressuring D5. Black has a weakness at B6. This is the kind of position Karpov would just be, you know.
White's time, though, is ticking away very slowly.
Okay, somebody's saying black has pawn h6 at the end of that move. But then white can just move the bishop back to b1. Maybe. All right. I'm too tired to figure it out. We'll wait a couple of moves. And I know that's a cop-out, but Simpkins lost this one. He got mated, as we predicted. Let's go back up to board one and f5. And that's a real attacking move for you.
Aggressive.
Yeah. So if
That's so
h
nice.
takes g4, f takes g6, threatens queen h7 mate. And if f6, maybe knight g5 or something. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. H takes g4, f takes. That's not going to work though. Just queen h. Just h takes g4, f g6. What can black do? If f takes g6, black then knight to g5 is probably crashing through down there. Although black can throw, this is very, very, Felix is looks like he's getting slaughtered unless this attack is actually unsound. But it looks to me like he's in trouble. All right. And we have this game, and Josiah is burning the
Still.
clock. Let's see, after bishop takes, he's thought for over 20 minutes after bishop g7. So there was something in his calculations that was not, in his initial calculations, didn't go. The only thing Josiah can be thankful for in this position, if there's anything, is that he sees a lot. He really does. I've analyzed with him after the game, and he's a young player calculating variations. So, he's seeing a lot of variations. And whether they're any good for him, we don't know yet. All right, Winslow, and this is Clement's only chance is to play f6 here. And it looks like it's well timed. He has to do it, bring the knight back into the game, and try to get something going before white queens the pawn or consolidates and connects the rooks and all that stuff. All right, Sodakova. Oh, that's nice. The king did go to h8, as I predicted. It's almost automatic in those kind of positions. White's not threatening bishop e6 yet, but later on, and plus you're freeing up the g file.
Right.
And notice white can still not take on f4 because of the knight fork. White prevents that with rook e1, but that does nothing. And black is sitting really pretty here after this. This is looking dire for white, I think. It can be a little tricky. It can be a little tricky though to yeah, the knight's
That
really
knight is just
strong.
beautiful.
Yeah, black needs to get the other rook into the game, so this is tough game, tough position. All right, Smith, this is, okay, so black acquiesced to this. White could play, how about this for an idea? Queen d1 threatening rook h7, king h7, queen h5 check, and bishop takes g6, forcing mate. Queen d1. Well, it's a natural move because it threatens b4. It also has the idea of playing b4. The queen has served its purpose on b3.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Queen d1 and threatening rook h7.
Jayden finished.
Okay.
See if I can get him.
Yeah. Okay. H5. Okay, so Michael's doing that. Now he's putting the rook on e5 and playing h5. So black is pressuring white here, but it's still a long ways from over. And this crazy game, which I'm gonna quit chess after watching this game. I have no idea what's going on here. White looks better. I mean, in some ways, with maybe knight c4 here, but it's crazy. Also, I need Judith to pause for a minute after. Well, after he comes in, before he comes in. We're gonna. Okay, so white covered the diagonal in this fashion, and so this is just lost.
Here.
Oh, king g4, bishop. Yeah. Hi, Jaden. All right, Jaden Ju, is this your game?
Yeah.
And you won.
Yes.
Nice, nice endgame. We were having trouble figuring this out. Yeah, I'm here with Jaden Ju, who not Erica Malkin, even though it says that right now. We're going to take a look at your game. You helped me figure out what was going on in this game. You want to do the mouse? Yeah.
So,
Yep.
here you play the Queen's Indian, and usually when I play the Queen's Indian, I play Bishop A6 here.
Okay, but you're white, so you can't
Yeah.
play Bishop A6.
Yeah, so I thought he would play Bishop A6, and then I play like Knight D2, and he moves Bishop back.
Uh-huh.
But he didn't.
So a pretty normal game. So Queen D3, that's a book move, I guess, right?
No, I didn't really know what to put here, but I was trying to prevent Knight E4.
Right.
And if Queen C2, then he has Knight C6.
Maybe, yeah, yeah.
Knight takes d4 and knight b4.
Of course, you could castle too.
Yeah, but then knight d4 is knight.
Yeah, and then you can move your queen and play a3. So it's all possible. Okay, so but queen, you're radically preventing. Okay, so he plays d5,
Yeah.
right?
Here I think I took.
Right, and he takes this way, which is conservative. He could take with the knight maybe, but he takes with the pawn. I like that, and that's a good move.
Yeah.
That's a good move. He had a good game, and then he just played a couple of bad moves coming up here. So let's see what happened. Knight e5, c5, right?
Yeah. And
So what about just castling here? You don't want to castle yet. I've noticed you're delaying castle. Oh, you did castle. Okay. Castles is good.
yeah, I did.
All right.
I think he played.
Knight a6. That's a good move, I think. Yeah.
So, I was kind of worried because I saw a weird line where he played a3, c takes d4, queen takes d4, and he plays something like knight c5.
Right. Well, he didn't do that. He played bishop c5, but he should have played knight c5. But also, right here, what did you play? You played a3. Okay. Yeah. a3. And knight b4 was not, again, maybe not such a threat, although the a3 turned out to be a useful move. So now he should maybe play knight c7 and knight e6, maybe. That's a possibility. But he took on d4. No, he played rook e8, okay. Bishop f4. And then he took on d4.
Yeah.
And now maybe he should have played knight c5 with the idea of playing knight b3 or knight e6. And maybe, you know, it's tough. It's not, it's a game.
Yeah.
It's a game.
I was thinking that when he played rook e8,
Uh-huh.
I was thinking c takes d4, queen takes d4, knight c5, because then knight b3 is kind of annoying, and I don't have rook d1.
Okay, that's true. That's true. So maybe a3 wasn't even necessary. It's possible, because if he plays knight b4, you can always chase him back later with a3. You know?
Well, yeah, but then, I mean, d4 is hanging if I move the queen
Yeah,
anywhere.
that's
but
true.
here.
That's true. That's true. And then if you play queen d4, he's got maybe knight c2 or something. Yeah. That's worth looking at. Okay. Yeah. All right. Bishop f4.
Queen takes d4.
Yeah. And now bishop c5. And this just worked out well for you, I think, for a while.
Yeah, and he played bishop d6, and I was really
Yeah, he's... What,
worried.
you were worried again? Because he's starting to take your knight. So if you play queen d4, he plays knight c5.
Yeah.
So what did you find
I
here?
did knight takes d5. It's,
Does that work?
I thought it did. I think it does.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah. So, because he's got a piece hanging on a6, and yeah, it looks like it should work. If bishop e5, you play what?
Knight f6. Oh no, bishop takes. Sorry.
If he plays bishop e5, you can play knight f6, and then bishop takes b7, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and you regain your piece, and you're threatening two pieces. Of course, he's got knight c5, so maybe that's not so clear. You'll have to look it up. You'll have to talk to Stockfish when you get home.
I had I mean, here
It looks like we're getting some interesting advice. It looks like h6 drew the game back in your end game.
Oh.
It's interesting. So what else? What other moves do you have here, though? I mean, it's almost like, oh, you could play knight c6 maybe.
But then, I mean, my queen's on a6. It's not really, like, it doesn't seem that good on a6.
Yeah. You got into a little bit of trouble in the opening, but black didn't play accurately, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, but knight d5. Okay, so what happened after knight d5?
So if knight takes d5, that was what was playing the game. But if bishop takes d5, I had knight c6, which is an interesting idea.
Okay.
Because if bishop takes c6 and bishop takes c6, and I win one of the rooks. And also a6 is hanging.
Right.
And
He'll always throw in knight c5. But it's yeah.
And then if you play knight takes d5, which you did,
Okay.
I saw this really long line of knight takes f7.
Wow. And if knight f4, that's the move that
yeah.
we do. That's what he played?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's follow this line. Knight g8, knight g3, bishop b, knight b7, of course. Yeah, that gets the knight out of take and threatens the bishop. So you're a piece down, but you're threatening two of his pieces.
Right. I thought he would play bishop c7 because then my knight's kind of trapped and...
Yeah, but he can never attack it with
Yeah.
anything, so... Huh. So what did he do? Desperado'd one of his pieces?
No.
Oh, no, he played rook e2. Whoa. So the tactics continue. Knight d6, you regain your piece. You're a pawn ahead. You're threatening his rook. He looks like he's busted or close to it. What did he play?
He played rook d8, and I thought I had a sneaky bishop d5, and then after king f8, bishop c4, because I thought I had rook d1, but I missed knight b2.
Okay, let's follow that line. Let's follow what happened. Check, king f8. At least you're calculating this stuff. Okay, rook d6. And you can play bishop a6, but then he takes on b2, and you've not really accomplished a lot.
Well, I think he can also just play rook d2, and it's kind of a bad position for me.
Okay, because his rook is on the 7th rank.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I try to play rook d1, he can just do knight
And if you
takes
take on
d2.
d3, it's double rook ending. You're a pawn up.
Well, if I take on d3 here, I'm just down a knight, down a piece.
Oh, that's right. Okay, don't pay any attention to what I said.
Um,
All right, yeah, that's right. You need to regain your piece here. Okay, rook d1,
Knight
and he
b2.
plays knight b2. That's interesting. So now he gets two knights for a rook.
I took on e2 here.
Okay.
Because
Is that better than taking on, than playing the two knights versus a rook?
well, my thought is if it's a bishop versus knight ending,
You're
The-
better, because
yeah.
you have pawns on both sides.
yeah.
Okay, good thinking, good thinking. So,
And if I took on d6, I was afraid after knight takes c4, the rook on e2 is kind of scary.
that's true. That's true. It's true. And you might lose the a pawn. Okay, this is clear, and white plays with a definite advantage, I think, after what you did. Okay, let's see what happened here.
Okay.
Knight d1, of course, rook d1, and black exchanges. So my feeling is white is better, but maybe the game should be a draw, probably.
I remembered he offered like 8 draws in the game.
That's not that you should actually. That's not allowed with the laws of chess.
Well, he after it was after like a capture each move, so technically.
Okay, all right. He wanted a draw. Okay, but you played. You were right to play for a win here with white. Let's see what happened. Kings come up and come up, and
Bishop c2.
nice move, limiting the knight's action, and he plays for cheapo with knight e6. My feeling is black should play something like h6 and then run the pawns up and make a pass pawn as fast as possible.
Well, h6, I think I had.
You're gonna run in with your king
King
over,
g4.
yeah, and then going into g6. I like the way you played it. Very aggressive. Very okay. All right, let's see what happened. Yeah, very aggressive. And maybe that's a mistake. Is that a mistake? I don't know.
I mean, I think it's probably necessary because if he plays h6, I'll just play king f5.
Well, then knight
I mean,
d4 check.
king h5.
King h5, and then you're gonna play king g6 and bishop and play the bishop attacking the knight. Yeah, black is slow here. Interestingly enough, I think. All right, let's see what happened.
If he played g6, and I think it was here, I had an interesting idea of h4, but I mean, I don't think it's much better than f5.
Okay.
F5 takes, bishop takes. I think this was a mistake because it's just way too passive.
Yep, he wants to hold that, but your bishop controls the other side of the board, so something tells me this is still a draw somehow. But let's go on. Let's go on. King G5, King E5. Yeah. B5.
This kind of worried me because
Sure.
he's starting to play more aggressively, and
Yeah. Yeah. He better do something because you're threatening to just go King H6 and then I'm not sure if you take on H7 then he can make a pass pawn. Okay, let's see what happened. Bishop D3, that slows the pawns down. That's an interesting idea. Okay.
I was thinking A4, but then after bishop A6, King D4, so it doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
King
This
D4.
is very interesting here and worth a lot of study, I think.
What's annoying for me is like the pawns and the king, like it restricts my bishop so much that, like if I play bishop C2, which is in the game, I can never like go to like E0 because then it'd be 2 steps away from the king.
E0, I like that. Okay, so bishop F5, that's cool. Oh, bishop D1. So what if king B2 here?
A4.
Okay, A4. And if B4, king G7?
Yeah.
Is that kind of the idea?
Also, maybe I have like A5 and bishop E2, but that's probably not enough because he'll just play king C2.
Okay.
So
Without a computer, I'm just making some educated guesses here. So what happened here after king D2, bishop F3, king E3 is chasing your bishop all over the board.
yeah.
Bishop G4, it's kind of funny almost. King F2, now he's going after these pawns.
Yeah. This is smart because if I play king G7, king G2, king takes F8, king takes H2, and
The
then
G3 pawn's lost.
yeah, and then even if I win the H7 pawn, it's most likely a draw.
Okay.
But then I had this.
This is a good move, I think. Yeah.
Because I was able to keep the pawn.
Okay. Apparently there was a problem draw here, but keep going. No, apparently black couldn't force the position, so you're fine.
Here?
We're winning here.
Yeah.
I think you're winning here.
I had to play king H6
Yeah.
and not bishop F5 because then he'll play king F4.
Right.
And the problem there is I have to play like, well, eventually I'm going to get into a position where my king's on G5, his king is on G3, his pawn's on B2, my bishop's on F5, and H6 is kind of annoying because he has 3 places to go to.
Wow, very well thought out, Jaden. Very well thought out. This is very well done.
So B3.
And now this is winning for white, I
Yeah,
think.
because here
That's his
bishop
last
E6
chance. Bishop E6 is a great move, of course.
and
B2.
here, and bishop A2 is just winning.
Yep. Nice game. Yeah, really, really well done. And I like your fighting spirit as well. You know, that's an important thing to have in chess.
Yeah.
You know, really important. You've improved a lot. What's your rating now?
It's 1826,
Okay.
so I was able to play up.
Yeah, and next Tuesday night marathon, play in the open section
Yeah.
and start playing those masters. They're not that great, you know. You can beat them. Do you want to look at some of the top boards before you go?
Sure.
Sure. Let's see what's going on. Congratulations. This is,
Oh, wow.
this was a f5. White broke through with f5. And people are saying that you're going to be a 2100 player by the end of this year. I think they're probably right. So what does black do? I'm not sure what happens if he takes on g4. It's not completely clear that it's mate, but to me, but he played knight f6, and then white plays knight h6 check. It looks to me like white's just getting this beautiful attack, and that is certainly a powerful. So if rook f7, f takes g6, followed by taking twice on f6, and then playing queen h5
Yeah.
check. You're getting some congratulations from people. It's Caesar Tamandon, who's one of the regular players. Yeah, yeah. So this is crushing, looks crushing for white. All right, let's look
Also,
at.
he has like after rook f7, knight g5, and then knight e6.
Yeah,
E6 knight
that's
is really
true
good.
too. That's true too. Yeah, black is on the ropes. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, this was really interesting. Bishop takes g7. Hosea thought for over half an hour. He thought for 34 minutes and played queen d7. So what I think he's trying to do is take the sting out of white's. The white queen is, if it joined in the attack over there, would have been really damaging. So he wants to play queen d3, I think, maybe. But he thought for over 30 minutes for that move, and white plays rook d1. That looks like, why not knight e3 instead of queen d7? Let's take a look at that. If knight e3, knight takes e3. The problem is, yeah, black can take on f1, but then white's going to save this bishop on f6, I think, and then that'll be very strong attacking piece. And if the king took, then the rook could move. I mean, that's just a rough guess. Instead, queen g7, rook d1, knight a3. The tactics continue. This is crazy. Okay, so Hosea obviously wants to play queen d. Actually, the white queen has almost no squares. If queen a2, queen takes d1 is probably winning on the spot, I would guess. So rook g7, knight takes c2. What do you think's going on, Jaden? Your brain is better than mine right now.
It's difficult.
Yeah, it's very tactical. Knight c2, rook d7. Rook d7, knight takes c2. If white tries to win a piece by playing rook takes d8, rook takes d8, rook takes c2, then does black mate white with rook d1 check?
King g2, bishop f1, king f2. No.
Bishop e1,
Look,
king
takes
takes
f1,
f1.
bishop g3. No, that doesn't go anywhere.
So Hosea's, everything is hinging, it looks like, on rook d7, rook d7, knight c2, rook d8, rook d8, rook c2, rook d1 check, king g2, bishop d3 looks really strong there.
Yeah.
Looks really strong, right? Hitting the rook, you're a piece down, but you're hitting the rook at c2 and the pawn at e4. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Oh, okay. King f2.
All right. Let me get my brain back going again. Rook takes d7, knight c2, rook d8, rook g8, rook c2, bishop d3. No, rook d1 check. King f2. Oh, king f2. Right, king f2.
Bishop e1 still, because then king g2 and you have bishop d3.
Yeah, Although white can, yeah. Wow, Hosea, pulling off a bit of magic here, maybe. Okay, we can't move the pieces. Let's go to board 3, and this is Winslow versus Clemens. Ooh, black is lost, I think. What happens after E takes D5 check?
No, well, that's.
I guess King D6. Black is still sort of fighting here. White's, yeah.
King D6.
King D6.
I don't have.
King D6, make a queen, and if you make a queen, then rook, then
Rook takes C8.
rook HC8, and if bishop A3 check,
King D7. No.
then you take on C8. Maybe white can win the exchange, but then maybe you wouldn't have a win after that or something. I don't know. All right, I'm just showing random lines here. Here's this game: King H1, F3, Bishop E3, Knight C2. Oh, that's a strong move, isn't it? Even though white gets the bishop into E6. Another complicated position. Maybe if bishop E6, just queen F6, but then bishop G5. I don't know. It looks to me like black should be able to sort of finagle something here. Did you go to school in San Francisco?
No, I go to school in Sunnyvale.
Sunnyvale?
Board 1 finished.
Oh, okay. Board 1 finished?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Board 1. Yeah.
Okay, so knight F6. Let's see, knight F7 check. This was a slaughter on the top board. Wham. And like I said, taking on F6. I guess if knight F6, rook F6, so queen H5.
Oh, bishop H6. That's
And
good.
now the threat is, among other, if E6, queen H8 check, right?
Yeah.
So that's all she wrote. Puzzle rush, somebody's saying. Well, this was a disaster. Yeah. All right, we'll take a minute break and come in with Kyron Griffith and Felix German. All right. All right, we're back with board one, the game Kyron Griffith versus Felix German, and let's see what happened with the players themselves providing the...
Nothing good happened for black.
That's true. All right, so we get this, according to Kyron here, and Felix, this is F4 is completely book, but G6 maybe not so book.
I wasn't sure. I
don't think you're supposed to give me bishop c4. I think
Knight
my development
b6.
comes too easily.
Okay.
I think knight b6 maybe, but I don't know.
I couldn't decide what side to castle. Whether I should castle king side or queen side.
Yeah, but then how do you protect f7 if you want to castle queen side? So.
I didn't.
Okay, so castles, was there any other line that struck you? Was maybe it's time to just keep
I
developing.
mean, I can play like knight g5. Taking on f7 doesn't work yet.
Knight g5, knight a5.
Yeah, but then fe, and I think I'm happy with that transformation. I'm actually wondering, I think knight g5 you might be able to play f6, which looks horrible, but...
Well, f6, knight e6. Can you go knight
e6, queen d6, and my knights are attacked.
Yeah, you want to move the queen to d6 as many times as you can.
It looks ridiculous, but maybe you can play f6. I wasn't 100% sure.
Interesting. Okay. And very thorough.
But maybe knight e5 is okay as well.
Okay. Castles, bishop g7.
Knight f7 is very tempting instead of queen e1, but I don't think it doesn't go anywhere.
All right.
Like knight f7, king takes, knight g5, king g8, knight e6, queen d6, f5, knight 7 f6, and I don't think white is enough.
Okay.
Yeah. I think queen e1's a good move, though.
And this is, in a way, castling into it. But it's hard. Yeah, black.
I didn't think much of queen h4.
Yeah.
If I was black, I would change the structure and play pawn to e6. I mean, I know that it's gonna probably.
I'm not sure
be,
it stops my plan though. I'm just going queen h4, knight g4 anyway. b6 felt too slow. I don't know what else.
I kind of make a decision what I want to do with this bishop.
I don't know what else to do, but it felt like I should be able to make something happen.
Black needs to exchange about 3 pieces here.
Yeah.
G4. That's a good move.
So I think
it was interesting. Yeah.
That's a good move.
Didn't expect it.
So maybe knight 7 to f6 is the move here. No, but then I get knight g5. What was I?
Well, that was basically.
And then the threat is to take on d5. Yeah. Yikes. Well, when black plays h5, it's.
Well,
okay.
But precisely, I didn't want to play.
I'm not sure h5 is that bad.
But is that right?
All right, so I'd spend like 30 minutes here because I couldn't figure out what happens after he takes the knight.
Okay, yeah, h takes g4.
So I think I'm going to play bishop h6 actually, because the line that Felix was saying, knight g5, knight 7 f6, fg, fg, and rook f6 is met with rook f6, and I don't mate him.
Knight f6 is met by, or rook f6 is met by?
Rook f6, and then there's no mate because king runs to f8.
Can you win his queen with check and knight e6? Oh no, there's no.
Rook's on f6.
Yeah, I see that, but I was having a hallucination.
So it's like hg, knight g5, knight 7 f6.
Knight takes f6.
Sorry, my knight's on g5 already.
Yeah.
So hg, knight g5.
So what about hg, fg?
I think he just takes back.
And with the same defense.
Yeah.
So maybe I should have.
Yeah. Well, I think bishop h6 is also interesting, which is weird because it doesn't really have a threat yet, but it's.
Threatens maybe knight g5.
But yeah, knight g5 is coming, and your bishop on b7 is so bad that I just felt that the attack was probably okay, but I was.
No, f5 was definitely interesting.
Nothing clear.
How about h takes g5, knight g5, knight 7 f6, bishop d5, bishop f4, and then bishop e5. Trying to take on f6.
It's bishop d5, cd, bishop f4. Yeah, calculate something like this. But the problem is, even if you take on f6, you're just always recapturing at the rook, and so queen h7 is never mating. And once you bounce the queen from c7, you don't get forks on e6 anymore.
Well, I have. You can't play rook f6 because I've not played f takes g6, right? I've played h takes g5, knight g5, knight 7 f6. I've just taken on d5.
Yeah.
And then played bishop f4, queen moves, bishop e5. Is that even for real?
It's interesting.
And what's the
He just wants to take the knight.
I want to take the knight on f6 and play queen h7 mate. Can you play rook fe8?
Yeah,
I guess you have to play the rook move.
That's one idea. Hold on, let me see on knight f6. Take. Bishop f4.
I don't know.
No, I mean, this is an interesting shot for sure. It's a solid try. Okay, I mean, yeah, I think you just have to play like queen c6, bishop e5, rook e8.
Rook e8.
And ask how.
Right, ask how white's going to break through.
Is the mate going to come?
Right. I guess you can take on take on g6 and wow.
Yeah, I mean, you're running out of pieces.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bishop at e5 and a knight at g5 and a queen at h4 and a rook at f1. Somehow it feels like it should work, but
I mean,
well, that was exactly my feeling. Somehow it's gonna work,
right? Yeah. But it's better. Feelings are not what's important here.
But it's not so easy for white to figure out exactly how to do this.
Yeah.
So I should have gone for this.
So black. The consensus is that black should have taken on g4.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is losing, or at least much worse, because knight h6, and then I think you have to play bishop h6, and then your position's terrible. And that's probably just losing straight up, because g6 is too soft.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't see knight h6.
Simple. And then this is devastating.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, nice finish with the queen h8 move coming
I'd
out.
be interested to see what the computer says about f5.
Yeah.
It seems like it's the right move, but I couldn't figure out exactly what.
Let's take a look at Stearman's game. Wow, this has been a great game.
Sketchy move.
Okay, so what, knight a3?
Yeah, because like white has so many interesting options.
Rook d7, knight c2, rook d8, rook g8.
I don't think he should do this. I thought he should double here actually.
Could he take on c2?
So I think the trick is rook d1, king f2, bishop d3.
d3, yeah, we saw that.
It's just like,
and that's
like your piece down, but it's just like so much.
So what should white do? Do you think here?
I don't think you should take. I think you should back up one and play rook cd1. Yeah, go rook cd1 here.
Rook cd1.
Yeah.
Bishop c4. Oh no, you have to take on d7.
You gotta trade and then.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not gonna take the knight, why would you trade the rooks?
Right. That's a good point. A very good point.
I wonder if you could just take a7 here. Seems like suicide.
Take on a7. Yeah.
I mean, maybe bishop d3. Yeah, bishop d3 is really nasty. I think rook c to d1 here has to be.
Nice move.
Has to be right.
Nice move.
And then I'm not sure that. I think white might be better. I mean,
rook d7, rook d7, bishop c4. Then the knight comes to d4.
Yeah, knight d4. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean.
Wow, and white's getting coordinated.
Yeah, black's got the bishops and the c pawn faster though, so he's certainly not out of the game. But
it
feels like white has some control there. But now, I think after taking the rooks, he's probably just worse. Like black just has, This is probably close to losing. Wait, what?
So I'm just coming back here. Can you play rook? Oh, rook c. We just looked at that. Bishop d3. Yeah.
I mean, rook c2, rook d1, king f2, bishop d3.
Yeah, we looked at that. Yeah.
Well, okay, you can play like rook e2, right? Because you're up a piece.
It's interesting.
Well, yeah, I'm not
sure
what.
Could black have played bishop e1 check first?
So bishop e1 check, and then
rook c2, rook d1, king f2.
Right, so
bishop e1, king g,
and then bishop d3, and you get e4 with check.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Okay. Bishop f6 is played.
Wait, bishop e1 check, can't you just go... Oh, no. Oh, yeah, you can go to e3.
Rook c2 check, rook d1 check. Ah.
Yeah, just go to e3. Well, maybe taking the knight's not so bad. This is why I thought knight a3 is sketchy, because like maybe you can take the knight, maybe you can just double. Like I feel like white has multiple good options, but maybe black was already not happy with his position.
So in this position, rook just take the rook. If bishop d3, right there, maybe.
Immediate bishop d3, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you have bishop f6. Tricky.
Yeah.
And then your bishop and knight aren't tangled anymore.
Black could play bishop takes c2, bishop d8, bishop b3,
right,
and then
right,
when that, yeah, that looks lost.
Okay, so bishop d3, you play rook c1,
Bishop.
bishop e4, and bishop f6, and
So bishop d3.
just rook back to c1.
You
You take c4, you go bishop f6.
Bishop e4, bishop f6.
Yeah. Rook d3.
It's a very complicated game.
Rook
It's been a
d3.
complicated game the whole time. Let's see what happens. What's happening here? This still
Where
might.
where does your knight go after like knight e3? Yeah, like white's knight is horrible. He's probably losing.
Knight a1.
I mean,
Hey, you do what you have to do. Yeah, this doesn't look good.
it's not.
Rook b1, bishop c4, knight c1, rook g1. Something's got to give, I guess.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Well, yeah, the opening was kind of interesting to this game. What did you think of the opening to this game? White seemed
I think
to get
white actually played pretty well after
after getting into some trouble.
Yeah, after taking e5, I thought white was just worse, and then he found this bishop h3, knight h4, and
Yeah,
think
I
he
don't
was
like
back in it.
a4, but it's probably book.
Yeah, I
for
don't
all
know.
I know.
Yeah, yeah, so this is well timed by black.
Right,
and then
exactly.
e5. But I mean, I guess what else do you do?
I mean,
here
you could
with
play
white?
knight e5 because knight e5, d5, knight g4,
Oh, yeah,
knight
yeah.
f3. It's actually possible.
That's true. Yeah, it probably makes sense to.
And
trade
then
that knight.
black is faced with h3.
Interesting. So 95 takes. Can I throw in like a bishop d2 somehow and get my pawn back? No, maybe not.
That's something I was looking at. I'm a very materialistic chess player, so I'm always like, can I take a pawn and just like, you know. He tried to take it this way, but this looked like it was more complicated,
Yeah.
right? Take with the knight,
And then the knight on d2 is horribly
knight,
misplaced.
and then it'll make the knight at d2 work by bringing it up to f3.
Yeah.
This way, white gets a little tied down, and you're right though. White fought back like a monster here.
Knight h4 is a good move.
Yeah, it's a very good move. Yeah, I mean, with his back to the wall, White really played aggressively. Is that? I guess that's the right move. F4.
Yeah.
You know.
Rook at rook f d8, knight b3 seems okay. Although the knight gets kind of out
Right.
of play. c4.
Right. Bishop c4, I think, was also a possibility.
Right.
You know, but it's just so crazy. Knight c4, and that was a good move to eliminate. I thought
Yeah, well,
eliminating.
you gotta prevent the knight e3.
Yeah. And this,
So can you
Hosea
play-
fought for
can you
like
play knight
almost
e3
40
here?
minutes here.
You could, but then he just takes it, and then he goes back to f5, and like, and then you get queen b2 coming, and you might
It's
be
true,
getting
black can
mated.
take on f1, but he can only take one piece at a time. And after, and white will, if black leaves that configuration of pieces over there,
I
it
think
can
it's
be,
I think it's really scary.
it's dangerous, very
Because
dangerous.
the knight just goes back to f5, queen b2, and
Yeah,
you're already getting mated.
yeah, that's what I thought, and that's probably what queen d7
That was a
was.
weird move.
Yeah, it's got the idea of playing queen d3 here,
And then knight, yeah.
and then this is just.
Well, I mean, he must have seen this when he played queen d7.
Right,
Switch
sure,
rook FD1
because the queen has no
natural.
move. You know, it's a great move in a way.
Just I don't know.
It's
I
should
don't
it
believe
work?
it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think white's better here.
All right, but
I could be completely
here
wrong.
he
though.
should have played rook g1.
I mean, yeah, rook cd1.
Yeah.
Or trade and take the knight. Like, I'm still not convinced.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we're just missing something obvious.
Bishop f6, rook d3, knight check, takes, and the knight went back to a1. Okay, so
hate to see it.
yeah, and the only thing that white can bank on or hope for here is
Can regroup somehow?
Bishop f6.
it
rook in
says
the back rank and
the engine like taking on a7, rook takes a7.
No way.
That's what it says. That's what somebody
Wow.
says.
Oh, that was after. Yeah. That's what I said. So
Yeah,
you just take a7.
white taking on d8 is a blunder according to
Yeah,
the,
for sure.
Yeah. This is what you don't want to happen, where all your pieces,
Oh, you're saying
opponent's pieces are active and all of yours are passive. Yikes.
So it's The
This
comment
is
was
close.
that f5 was winning in our game, but there are a couple pretty good lines.
Interesting. I'd like to see your analysis of that later. Winslow was having.
Okay.
Karen, thank you so much
Yeah,
for the
good
game.
game.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Paul.
Good night. Good night. That was Felix. Winslow's finally winning this. After, I guess, what is, if knight f4, king f3, and king
this is-
f4.
Yeah.
So he's finally
What
bringing
was the,
this home. Incredible.
I didn't see this game at all.
White had an overwhelming opening and then seemed to sort of overthink it, I think. Watch what.
Okay. Did he get b5?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no way for black to prevent b5.
So yeah, you don't.
So, and black slowed himself down even more by thinking he had all the time in the world to fianchetto here.
Ooh.
And this is just...
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah. But black can survive by giving away the exchange, but still leaving the pawn at c7.
This is so
It's
bad.
ridiculous. I know, it's bad. Yeah, it's clearly bad. And so white seems to have everything going for him. He makes sure that he grabs a pawn here and then plays f4.
Yeah. All the pieces are dead.
But white,
Bishop a3 time.
white's lacking a little development here. Maybe rook a6 I think was possible too.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Rook a6 seems more natural.
it does to me as well. Unless there's something I'm missing. Maybe rook, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to give up the pawn
Yeah.
so
Or
easily
he
or
could be
something.
bang on some weird bishop a3, bishop
Yeah.
and then discover. I don't know.
Right, I think white probably has a forced win here in some
Sure.
ways, but he seems to have kind of, and black tries to
Ooh.
get back in the game. Yeah, it's a wild.
E4 seems strange.
White still can't play pawn to c8.
What if you go like knight a4? He takes an e5 check, and king d6.
Oh, okay. Well, you can see that this was a little bit of an issue here. And just grabbed the bull by the horns and played this. This, I guess, something is king d6. Finally makes a queen. And then
nice
I
exchange,
saw this
yeah.
line actually, and so this is just, I guess, just winning. King d5 was maybe better to take the pawn. Oh, why did black do this? Yeah,
Yeah, that should do it.
rook b1 check, and king c4. Maybe he's worried about losing a pawn there. It's still a little technique is required.
And play bishop b2 here. It's pretty nasty.
Oh yeah, that's a nice move. Maybe we'll play it next move.
Yeah, it's nicer if you don't play rook b1 first.
Uh-huh. Well, Elliot's playing well.
To board 9.
On board 9.
So
Guy,
you would think that guy is playing with black and Anthony is playing with white, but they actually sat down in wrong
order.
Oh no.
So
Oh,
Guy
I
is
see.
Guy is the white and Anthony is the black, and Anthony won by time forfeit. Like
So
Guy
Anthony
ran
was black here.
out. Yes, and
Looks
Guy
like he was
ran
winning
out
anyway.
of 2.
Oh, that's too
But-
bad because white was dominating this
Oh, wow.
game. White was completely dominating this
Oh,
game
okay.
for a long time.
But he ran out of time. In fact,
I mean, the whole throughout the middle game, white just
so
had.
this just shows you, even if you're 1900, you have to check.
So guy,
Gotta
who's
watch
white?
your-
Who's
gotta watch
white in
time.
this?
1900
Guy
guy.
is white.
Oh, he's
and
white.
Yeah, so they
Okay.
basically switched colors.
Okay, so I was wrong about. This was
Not
just
you,
great.
They.
This was great for. The colors were actually reversed.
Yeah, seems very pleasant for white.
Yeah.
Queen b5.
And that was
yeah.
that was a very good exchange. White's part here.
Yeah, white's in complete control.
White's in complete control. But G4 is what? Is that a good move?
I mean, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what King H3 is. He's just trying. It looks like white's can't figure out how to get in. Ooh,
Something
something's going
went
on.
rotten in the state of Denmark.
Oh, he's sacked all the pawns. Uh oh. Okay, now white's just losing. What the heck? Looks like he got a little too ambitious.
Yeah.
Some miscalculations.
Yeah. On a
too
game
bad.
that white had iron control of.
Yeah.
He lost control. Okay.
Black defended well. No,
Yeah.
didn't let anything
this
obvious
game has been
happen.
made on the board just about. Okay, so let's take a look at Stearman's game again.
Bishop B2.
Knight
bishop
A1
F3.
was played, and Rook G2, and coming in for the. So this is just inevitable here that something is going
Yeah,
to
I mean,
give.
bishop D3, bishop B2. So
Yeah.
It's opposite colored bishops are
Strong attacking.
yeah helping the attacker here for sure. That's just mate though, right? Bishop F3, Rook G2 is coming.
Yeah. Yeah. That bishop gets on the long diagonal. It's over.
I don't know how do you stop it. Knight D4, bishop D3.
Yep. And if Rook C3, Rook B1.
Rook C3. Wow. Yeah.
Rook C3, Rook B1, Knight C1. Knight D1, I don't know. Knight C1. That would win, right?
Knight D1, Rook C2, bishop D3. Yeah. Yeah, looks like it. You're saying Rook C3, Rook B1, Knight C1, Knight D1, Rook C2, bishop D3.
Right.
And
Also
the rest.
possible is Rook takes Knight. And Knight F2 check. No. I've got the pieces on the wrong squares. Okay. It's getting to the end of the evening here.
Yeah. I don't see how white saves this.
No, I don't either. Hosea, Elliot
Yeah.
is putting this game away, and Natalia is definitely putting this game away.
Oh, she's black, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pawn up, pawn on F3 is
Weak
nasty.
pawns, yeah. This is well played
Yeah.
game by Natalia.
Nice.
This game was another. White's finally gotten everything that he wanted.
Oh,
Let's see, bishop
he's just
G3
taking
castles.
exchange.
In this position, I thought Queen D1 was a great move,
Rook
threatening
A7
Rook
coming,
H7,
yeah.
and also B4. So, but he
Yeah, Queen
didn't-
D1 makes sense.
But Knight E2. I mean,
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Oof.
Sacrifice. Okay. Sure.
F4.
Yeah. Why is
I-
White is playing to not playing the kind of game I would have
I don't
thought.
know about this actually.
G4, G5, maybe.
Well, G4 then black plays G5.
Yeah.
I don't know if white is.
Yeah.
is
White
is
shouldn't
better.
have done this.
I think white was probably winning, and now maybe not better.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, then we-
I liked Walder's opening with the quick knight
yeah,
H5.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a-
No, that was a really good opening.
it's a-
Yeah. Black had a great game, but there was one question I thought. Let's for you, Kyron, because I'm always interested in these kind of decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, so knight h5. Yeah.
Right.
Walter is always booked up for sure. This went really well for Black. I mean,
Ooh, yeah.
this is
You get
just
this. You get
ideal.
This blockade.
And so maybe
It is tough though, because Black can get all these squares, and then
Yeah.
it's not so easy to break in. It's,
Right. Well, you want to triple on the G file or something.
Yeah.
But-
And you have all the freedom in the world though.
Right.
G3.
Okay, so now I was thinking Black maybe should take on G3 and then play H4.
What's the? I guess what's the concern with playing H4 right away?
Well, White locks it up with G4, right? And then, well, that's fine for Black too, obviously, right? Because everything switches over to the queens, I think, unless there's still a way to break through over here. Whoa, he played
Yeah.
G takes H5.
Oh yeah, White. That's
Did
interesting.
White have to do that? I guess there's always going to be the possibility. Oh, Black can play knight to G5. I guess that will be the final.
It takes a little while though.
Yeah. It's not easy. So that's why back here, I was wondering if
I mean, it
Black
seems,
could have taken on G3 and then played H4. That
seems-
would be my.
It seems
sort
more
of
natural to me
gut.
to leave the pawn on F4 and play H4 if you can.
Okay.
But maybe you're right tactically.
I don't know. I don't know. And this is an interesting decision to take on H5
Yeah, I mean, White seems to think he can
to hold this.
fortress, but
Yeah.
I don't believe in it.
That's an exchange White would love to have.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking.
Black's going to play Rook G3 if he can get the chance. Annoying moves. Whoa.
What's going on?
Okay, so knight G6 and E5 check. This is like the last thing you want to see when you're getting
Yeah.
into time trouble.
That's not what you want to see at all.
Right.
I think
Oh.
Black is probably okay, but that's
Yeah, that's a scary move.
certainly not what you want to see.
He has to play King G6.
Yeah.
And then knight G6 or E5 check
Or
first.
E5,
and-
yeah.
Yeah, well, White finally
Probably knight
finds
D6.
some crazy move to.
Now, yeah, maybe White might be
White's
better
has some
now.
chances. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if it's just chances. He might be better. Just the king position is so bad, and
Right.
White's king is suddenly super safe.
Yeah. Although,
Because
yeah,
knight d6, knight goes to f5 and clogs everything if you need.
Yeah. And you could even play pawn E6, maybe, given the chance.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right.
That's a nice find by Kalen.
Yeah, knight B5.
Knight b5 is it looks so superficial, and then you hit him with rook g6 and feels
Only
bad.
in a Tuesday night marathon. Yeah,
Feels
amazing move. Okay, let's go to Snyder. This game, I did not want to watch this game.
It looks like White's just winning. Right?
Yeah, no, White's, yeah.
Rook d7, rook e7.
Yeah, and doubling rooks on the,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, this game was nicely played, little endgame by this boy.
Yeah, Jaden.
Yeah, really nice.
Saw
This game, we know what happened with that, and the other game was mate. So let's go back. Okay, that brilliant game of Griffith.
Oh, he resigned. Yeah.
Okay, so Stearman wins, and he's got 1 point, and Elliott
This
is
will be
just
a White wins.
yeah, Elliott is putting this one away, and Sodakova.
Black should win, but
Right.
takes some precision still.
Yep. And finally, we have this game where
This
White
one's-
went a little off the rails here. Still, yeah. G4. G5 was the move that we were looking at.
Yeah, and that seems most natural positionally.
Right.
And you're not really getting attacked anymore. Your queen can just swing to g7 and you're always safe. g5 is hard to meet. I guess you have to play g3.
G3, yeah.
Yeah, but
Instead, knight G6, and now is White reluctant to play pawn to G5 because of bishop G5 or something?
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you could start with queen c2, kick the knight, and then because your queen can swing to f2.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe queen c2 and then g5.
Still, you know, if white can contain black, should be a little better. It should be better here, I think.
Yeah, I think allowing g5 is wrong for black.
Okay, let's see what's happened with this game. He took on g6, and white played the confusion of knight d6. Nice move.
I would take white.
Yeah, white suddenly looks like this is bishop c5.
Only a pawn for the exchange, and you've got queen g1, you've got e5, you've got knight f5,
Walter got
bishop c5.
rocked by this. Yeah.
There's way too many good moves for white here.
Yeah. Yikes. Not so let's see, after rook g1, maybe it was already, well, knight b5.
I mean, you gotta
just go back to e5.
Just put the knight back in e5
and if knight a7,
hang out.
Bishop d7 or something, or something else. Yikes, rook g6 is just too strong. You don't want to believe it's happening to you, but yikes. Okay. Yeah, this game is reaching its conclusion here. And the rest of the games we've seen this. Black is putting up resistance, feudal resistance here. Well,
yeah,
I
rook
mean,
h1.
rook h1 is a nice move. Sotokova. And white's tickling black a little bit with that move.
Yeah, you just play rook f7.
Yeah. g3. That game was, white had such a crushing position and just kind of did not need to do this.
Yeah, I think white will probably end up winning that one anyway, but it's probably this. Yeah, I'd like to look at this one. I mean, so okay? I think queen e5 maybe. What do we? I mean, it seems like you have to stop e5. It just seems like really scary.
Especially if it's with check. Yeah.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't. What else keep you thinking about though? Like maybe a preemptive king move.
King h5.
Seems like the safest square.
Yeah, amazingly, it does. King h5.
To make sure you don't get like queen g1, queen g4 mating net. Like
yeah, I was thinking of that too.
Like that.
Anything's possible. Bishop c5 after king h5?
Yeah, I think bishop c5 is probably white's just next move, no matter what.
2 pawns. Yikes.
2 pawns, safer king, like 2 passes, like rolling in the center. White just is probably much better.
Black bishop at h6. Wrong diagonal. Black played such a nice game. It's kind of a bit tragic here. The blockade should have been kept until black was completely safe. Maybe rook g5 was a mistake, but already there's some issues here, right? Already there's some issues after bishop d3.
Yeah, maybe just
bishop g5.
So I think your bishop...
Or bishop g7.
I think the bishop on h6 should be on e5. I think that was the better... Like, because then the bishop sits there forever, then you can mess around with the knight if you want.
The knight can come to g5.
The problem is you want to, like, reroute the knight, but then you have to always watch e5. Sacrifice ideas.
So just put your bishop on.
I think it's a better setup with the bishop on e5.
Okay. And this just... And what's the point of queen d1, I think? Oh, because if rook g1, queen g3 check.
Really? Oh, yeah, wow. That's nasty.
So queen d1, showing that Melville is tactically alert here. Can you play queen g3 check anyway?
It's probably wishful thinking.
Yeah. Queen e7, rook g1, king f7. King f7. I think the king's heading to the wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it seems like it's going wrong already. Because knight e5, knight a7 is something.
Yeah.
Like you get a pawn and
then whammo, right out of nowhere, And Michael's now down on time. Okay, let's move on. This game. Okay, black. White was in check and played king d4.
Yeah. Knight g4, f3 should end the game.
Yeah. Bishop f4, rook h7. Yeah. Okay. Natalia's game still going on.
I think maybe this besides Walter's game, this is probably the most interesting one.
Yeah.
With so rook c2. What's our idea?
Well, maybe White should play all of his pieces over to the queen side and play b4, b5.
The queen side, you think here?
You're trying to break through for White on the king side.
Not at all what I was gonna do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna play rook h2 and try to hit him with f5 at the right moment.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason, playing b4, a4, b4, and doing that thing and just keeping black confined over there.
Rook h5 looks nice here. Just keeps everything under control.
It's true. White's still in control. The rooks can switch over to the queen side too, so it's possible for White to play both your plan and my plan.
Black needs to find some activity here. Bishop d8 is not what I would.
Yeah, I'm not sure what black should do.
Honestly,
here.
maybe he should have just sacked e5 at some point. Maybe even here.
Pawn to e5.
You sack.
And then you're the exchange down.
No, it's not good here. But that might be the right idea.
E5, f takes c, knight e5, g, bishop e5, or something like that.
Yeah, figure out which piece you want to land on.
Trying to go into f3 and take on g3.
Yeah, can White castle? Does White have castling rights here? I mean, actual question: if I saw e5 coming, like I might take the piece and castle.
That's an interesting thought. I think White can castle here.
That's yeah. That'd be a nice like Black makes a sacrifice for an attack, and White just
I think that's happened.
35 castles.
I think that's actually happened in the annals of chess.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, Black went way wrong in this opening.
Then Black calls the arbiter and says, "Can he really castle?"
Right. And White's determined to punish Black, but this.
Honestly,
this
like
a little...
maybe Queen C2 is even more crushing. Because how does Black do? Like Queen C2 here, like what does Black do?
Pawn E5.
Yeah.
Better do something. Then Knight G6.
Or
then
Bishop,
Pawn E4.
I think. What about Bishop? No. Pawn E5, Bishop G6.
Ah.
You just take the rook.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That would do it.
And so, like, Queen C2, E5, Bishop G6, HG, Queen G6 on the rook. It's got to be too much.
This looks like your game today, with the attack on the H file. But let's go back. I want to savor this Queen D1 move of mine.
Yeah.
With the threat of Rook H7.
Let me try to refute Queen D1.
Well, again, I'm keep wanting to play B4, and that's so. It's combined with the.
So Queen D1, just Knight D7.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your rook and play Knight F6.
Okay. So Queen G4.
Oof. Yeah.
And then Rook F6, I guess.
Yeah, my knight goes to F8.
Yeah. Okay, well, White's better, but Black's still holding on, and this is Walter not seemingly able to adjust and find a defense here. Yikes. And running down the clock a bit. And he plays King H5. How about that?
All right.
Desperate times call for whatever the expression is.
But I think White just simply takes C5.
Bishop takes C5.
Maybe you play Queen G7 and get a mate threat. Bishop just goes back to F2. Problem is you can just play Bishop F2, Bishop F1, and you're safe forever.
Unless there's some shocking Gary Kasparov
Queen G3.
move. Yeah, well, Queen G3. Maybe Rook G3. Black should be trying to play Rook G3.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
He has to do something, or else he's just going to get squashed.
Okay, what if you play...
Bishop C5?
Yeah, I mean, what else do you do, right? Your knight's hit.
Rook G8. Going for it.
So Rook G8.
Now, if you play Knight C8, you play Queen C5 and win. So
Rook G8, you're just threatening Rook G3, that's all.
yeah, and you can't go back with your bit. Maybe taking on C5 is too slow. Maybe White should play Knight C4 here, but then B5, I don't know, D6, and then the queen gets a tempo by playing Queen to E6 on H3. Maybe this is not so easy for...
Yeah, certainly not easy. I mean, you can play Knight F5 here if you, want to be secure.
Yeah, and then if Black takes, he'll be always faced with Queen G1, but...
Yeah, well, then your bishop sits on E4 forever.
Oh, that's true, too.
And then you're going to try to play D6.
Hello, Master John LC. Thanks for joining us. We're looking at round 1 of the Yudacufski Memorial Tuesday Night Marathon in the wee hours. Actually, it's not the wee hours.
Let me jump in for a few minutes to
Sure. Hi, Judith.
Hi guys, promote the weekend tournament. So we have a 2-day tournament coming up this weekend. Easy 4 rounds, not easy, relaxed schedule. 4 rounds, gaming 90 plus 30 second increment. So 2 rounds on Saturday and 2 rounds on Sunday, and the open section is FIDE rated. So we're gonna have 2 sections, 1800 plus and the under 1800. And yeah, open section is both USCF and FIDE rated. The lower section is only USCF rated, and hopefully we'll see a lot of you guys play. Usual stuff that we had this Saturday, just the time control is longer so that we can FIDE rate. Are you planning to play?
This Saturday?
And Sunday.
Oh, no, I won't be there. But
okay.
They are always good tournaments.
Yeah. Thanks for, I mean, we had some incredible turnout this weekend. We had 53 players for Saturday.
Wow.
And then we had 20 players for the quads on Sunday afternoon. So it's very, very, very good.
Yeah, very good turnouts.
Yeah, it's fun.
Somebody's saying hi, Mom.
I don't know who that can be. I don't know why isn't she sleeping.
Your daughter, she should be asleep. Huh?
Well, she should be asleep or study or something. No, it's fine. We miss you, Rico. Next week.
So there's a few games left. I'm here with FIDE Master Karen Griffith, and there's a couple of games left. International Master Elliot Winslow is putting the finishing touches on this game.
Okay. I'll finish you guys.
Everybody, come to the tournament this weekend.
Oh, thank you, Judith.
No problem.
So I think White might have a shot in the other game, the Kaylin's game.
Oh, okay. Let's look at that.
So this one White's just winning.
Let's see. Sodakova has pretty much broken through here.
B1?
Yeah, Queen B1.
I guess not winning immediately, but oh, she took another pawn. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, just go Queen E4 and try to take the A4. Yeah, Queen E4, Bishop E5, and no losing chances.
Daniel Smith, this game is going on to the wire here, folks.
Yeah.
Michael Walger.
All right, so what if White plays Queen G1 here?
Queen G1.
My idea is that
you can't play Rook G8, you know.
And if you take Queen D6, I have E5.
E5, wow. And if and then the black queen b6.
Then e6 and a queen g4 and queen g6 coming.
Yeah.
But after queen g1, so I don't think you can take the knight.
Or
'cause
bishop
e5.
c5 maybe.
But then queen b2 check,
King h1.
and then queen g7, and I like try. Oh no, sorry, the
Yeah,
pawn's,
the
pawn's
pawn's
on
at
e5.
e5. Also,
Maybe so.
isn't bishop c5? What's so? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm distracting.
Yeah, bishop c5 is a move here. But then we were saying like queen g7 hitting b2.
Rook g8.
Yeah, queen g7, you're hitting b2, you have rook g8 coming.
Right. King h5 was a good find by Michael.
Yeah. But I think queen g1 maybe cleaner.
And if queen g6, e5, queen b6, bishop c5 probably ends the game right there, right?
Yeah, well, I think e6 also does it. Because how do you stop mate?
Yeah.
Oof, don't like that.
All right, we don't like that move. Rook c8.
What's the idea? Rook takes, and then queen g1?
Queen g1.
Queen g7. And you don't have enough pieces to mate him, feels like.
Interesting choice. Sort of maybe a time trouble choice.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I think it's still easier to play for white.
Yes. So, queen g1, queen g7, and then.
I mean, maybe he's going to play queen g4, but that doesn't seem clear at all.
The time control for this tournament is game in 2 hours with a 5-second delay. And 7 rounds. Of course, the tournament used to be 40-2, and then adjournments.
Oof.
Yeah, there were adjournments, but back in the day.
I don't even know how those work.
After the 40th move, one of the players, white, usually seals in an envelope the 41st move.
And then they go home and ask the grandmaster friends what they think of the position.
Exactly. They analyze it. Unless you're a genius like Bobby Fischer, who didn't use anybody, they would study into the night.
That's stressful. I don't want my chess games to haunt me overnight.
Yeah, well, and some interesting things would occur too. So you have the option of sealing your move. So sometimes white would make the move. As a deliberate tactic on the board rather than sealing the move.
Why would you ever do that?
There are, let's see, what were the reasons to do that? Well, it puts your opponent on the spot. Psychologically,
day to figure out.
Yeah, and they know but they have to sit there, right, and use the time.
Oh, I see. So like you don't have to think, you don't have to like do anything when you go home because you don't know what they're gonna play.
Right. So he plays queen g4 check. And that actually wins another pawn, maybe, because you can play king h3.
Oh, true. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Okay. Well.
And then what?
Right. Yeah, so maybe king g6 here is correct.
Yeah, I guess. And then bishop h4, I guess.
And rook h8. What are you gonna do? Bishop g7's coming.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh wait, but king g6 walks into e5 ideas also.
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah.
All right, so this was
this was actually a simple way. Does 2 pawns on the 5th rank beat rook?
Rook pawn.
Beat
pawn,
rook
king.
after queen g1, queen g7. Well, that line is passed now. So I guess king g5 is correct and not running into...
Well, king h3.
Yeah, king h3.
Oh, then king f6 and king e5.
King f6, there you go. Amazing.
I mean, it's we'll probably see exchange in 2 versus a rook. Or sorry, bishop in 2 against a rook. If these dark squared bishops get traded. which I would think white would not want to do.
I would think you're right.
I
That
would
white
think
would
you
not
wanna
want to do
take
it.
h4, go back to e1, go to c3, and help your pawns go. Yeah, actually, you certainly don't want to allow the king.
Computers kill the adjournment process because it would be simply whoever has the strong. It would be like my computer against your computer. I'm answering smooth G.
I mean, I don't know if it kills it completely. I would say if the game is like decisively won or lost, it would probably kill it. But
right, but if there's still a lot of play left, that's interesting.
If there's a lot of play, and I think the computer would kill it for the first like 5 moves, but then once you get into after 5 or 6.
Also,
moves,
at the top level, it would be more of a. You can just imagine in a world championship match the resources that would be thrown into. Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, they'd have computers humming and running all night long.
It's a horrible system. They should never bring adjournments back ever.
And we still have games going. Winslow, Clemens.
It's taking a while to win this.
It is. It's taking a long.
Can you just take the knight?
Yeah,
d5
takes d7, h3, d8, queen h2, and then queen h4.
Oh, no.
If nothing else.
Actually, no, you can't take the knight. Because.
Oh no, you're right. That was a trick question. Gosh, listen to that.
You can take the pawn and get forked though, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to make this as hard as possible for white to win.
So rook c4 maybe.
Oh yeah, sure.
Or rook d4 or something like that. But look, you had me fooled there. I was going to play king d5. I'm so tired. It was actually was thinking about it. Elliot is tired of this pesky knight. Oh, that's the end right there. Rook d4.
All right, now you can take the knight.
Now you can take it. Okay, a valiant effort by Christian Clemens, but he's going down in flames. And this is white is trying his darndest.
Down 3 pawns, you want to trade pieces? Is that right? I mean, I guess.
Bishop d4.
Now I'm just trying to find cute ways to win.
Yeah, me too.
Like trying to sack everything
and play f2.
But takes it with check, unfortunately.
Right. Oh, this must be wrong. We're having computer issues here. It corrected itself. Rook d4. So check and rook g7, queen a1, and king h2 and rook g7. I guess rook g4.
Almost. What if you, can you lead? Oh, sorry. You can't play rook g7 here. That's not.
Queen a1, king h2, rook g7, rook g4, take, and queen d1. Is white paralyzed there in that position? You're threatening queen takes d5, and you're preventing queen d4 check.
That's true. I'm sure it's winning. I don't know if it's the easiest win, but.
All right. Natalia is. And this game is still going on, and white is. White's put the rook on h5.
Queen e6 is annoying.
And now, black looked for some counterplay with b6, but it looks like it's perhaps hastening his own ends. Queen a6 is a nice looking move.
Sure. I would think maybe queen e7 to at least attack c5, but what do I know?
I still want to play b4. That's my favorite move in this position. All right, let's see how this game is going. Okay, king h3, bishop e5.
Oh, that's a good maneuver. Yeah.
Bishop check, king g6, and now the pawns are blockaded.
This is
not easy now. This is amazing. The white bishop is sort of locked out, and black is going to try to make a.
Yeah, b5 c4 is really scary.
Amazing.
White maybe not doing well here anymore. That's not gonna help. I think you've
Bishop E7
yeah, bishop
and
E7.
D6
Bishop
to
E7
tie
is,
down black's pieces, and then to get the G pawn going maybe, and King G4. Yeah.
Yeah, Bishop E7 was a necessity, absolutely. Whoa, you even had D6 there. Wait, was D6 winning?
D6.
D6 is just winning, right?
Whoa.
Oh, maybe rook H8, then D7.
And then Bishop
And
F6.
then E5.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
D6 is probably just winning.
Oh my gosh.
Oof. That's time feels tough. Yeah, no.
Black is definitely getting some play here.
I would venture to say he's winning at this point.
And maybe even win. Yeah.
How do you stop it?
Rook B8. And what are you going to
B8
do?
to B2, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, black's probably just winning now. How the tides turn.
Yeah, very typical of a Tuesday night marathon in a lot of respects. Okay, this game was finally
Whoa. What?
won here. Let's see. If
Oh, it's just
yeah, the
okay.
pawn at C3 actually prevents.
This is probably not the easiest game in this, I have to
Yeah,
say, but
it does look.
gets the job done.
Yeah. Okay. What a game that was. Elliot finally won the game. He did play rook, knight f4 check, and rook f4 was played. So we got 3 games here on the middle boards. Rook queen b5 was played.
I'm not sure what that was. Oh, he wants to go to E2. Sure, she wants to go to E2.
Rook e4. And Natalia's thinking again. The worst thing, of course, that could happen is black somehow succumbs to some mating attack.
No, I mean at this point you have to just play quick and safe. Just like queen d7, queen f5, try to consolidate.
Or, yeah,
Just yeah, you have to be completely sure you're not.
getting hoodwinked.
Actually, queen d7 might not be good because queen d4. Oh, then you can go rook d7. But I mean, yeah.
Black needs to exercise some caution, folks. Whoa, this game has taken a violent turn. Queen a6,
White hit with f5.
queen f7, f5, takes, and black.
This is double-edged. Maybe you didn't realize that he's taking back on g6 with check.
And that's exactly what
Or
happened.
maybe you did realize and just stone cold calculated it.
Well, that's, yeah, and both players are in bad time trouble.
That looks like a good move. As long as, so check, king f7, queen a7.
Rook e7,
cool.
yeah, that's it.
Wow. So, okay, so rook h8, rook f7 is rook f3.
White needs to move his king, but is there a safe square? King g1, queen b1.
Wow. Okay. What does white do here?
White just played this f5 move, and black sees the chance here.
That's
Maybe
right.
rook f5 was necessary, realizing that there's something bad was going to happen. We've seen a lot of this.
White must have missed bishop d5 because this is really scary.
Well,
Now
white, both players have minutes left, so
you want to see with 2 minutes on your clock.
maybe rook g5 here,
And then queen g5
and then
and then rook e8. Like, you don't have any checks. Oh, you're going to stack and run like C2?
run with my king. Yeah, that's. I'm trying to survive.
When queen g3.
Yeah.
Maybe, okay, maybe you get perpetual if I do that. Oh yeah, white might have to bail out.
No more guests. No more guests. Oh, maybe Natalia, if did she finish?
I think Hidari hung a rook.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, he was. Oh, what?
hate to see it.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. What a. Something was wrong there. Okay, Natalia.
Yeah, right there.
Yes, hung a rook with rook e8, queen e8. Nice game by Natalia. If she wants to come in, sure. Yeah.
right, so there's one game left then, right? Stan.
Five and six.
What is that?
Not kind of
Why-
this game anymore.
Yeah, this is White is trying to be humorous here. Yeah, I don't know
unfortunate.
what
Never-
was going on in Kalen's mind here, but it's really,
It can be frustrating knowing that you're at a winning game and then
yeah,
let it slip.
yeah. Hi, Elliot. How did you do? You won. Congratulations. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, can we see Dan this game?
Which game?
Board 5.
Yeah.
I think it's the last one going really. So
I-
yeah, he sacked on G5, queen F5.
Trouble for White. Yeah, both players are down to the minutes here. Who knows? Maybe there's even a forced win. Joined here by International Master Elliot Winslow. Coming on to okay. All right, thanks. All right. Actually, Natalia Sodakova, come on down.
Nothing's easy.
You played a very nice game.
I did?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think so.
I
Let's
thought I was losing at some point.
let's take a look.
It's still a nice game. It was a nice game.
All right, I'm sitting here with not Kyron Griffith, but with Natalia Sodakova, who played it. You played a nice
Well,
game.
I knew the idea, and that's it. I didn't have deep in-depth.
Yeah, I would thought playing knight G, just play knight G4 if you don't want to do this. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the idea, but then I didn't take, and then he moves. Even this one, like maybe I should have taken on. I should have taken on 5. I mean, I'm not sure.
It well.
This is one we can know, of course. But he gave it back. Oh, it's slightly uncomfortable.
It is slightly uncomfortable.
This was pointless. Bishop
Pointless?
G5
I
on
mean,
Bishop
maybe
G5, I think.
I should have. Yeah.
And this just lets you trade off, and maybe you should take with the E pawn, certainly, right?
I mean, he keeps the pressure on 5 because he
Right.
like all this.
Whoever wants to take it though.
I just thought taking on D5 and playing with the idea of playing something to E6.
I mean, but my knight.
Actually, don't even.
I mean, I didn't see any better than this.
I think black this is nice. This works out very well for you. It's a very smooth game.
I almost went H6 here, like here, go back instead of. I almost went H6, and I thought, oh, okay, what is it? But on H6 he takes on F4, and when I do the check, he goes King H1, and when I take on F4, he goes Bishop E6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
King
I mean-
H8 is a good move, obviously. This is just
I didn't look
this
over
is
too
just
often.
nice, very thematic game.
Yeah, something's
I mean,
something's gone wrong now.
This one and Rook C1. I'm not sure. Probably I might lose
Ooh.
this.
Whoa,
I
rook
didn't- I
C1.
I didn't see this exact. I mean, when I
Okay.
was.
Oh, that
I saw the bishop F5. I take on F5. I got a nice position after that. But after the Rook C1, if I take on S3, rook takes
That's
on
the
C7,
problem.
and then I have only 2 defenses like H5 and Bishop G7, and
Oh,
I
Bishop
believe.
G7 might be.
Yeah, might be. I mean, I think I'm losing here probably.
No, maybe not. So rook C1, knight takes C3, rook takes C7, bishop G7,
And then
rook G1.
F2, rook
Yeah,
G1,
F2 is
F2.
annoying.
And then maybe Queen H7 check.
Whoa.
no, but F2 I can
Math.
take even on G7. No,
You're making a queen with check.
Usually
I'll-
a good thing.
I'll take with the.
Actually,
queen
takes with the- you can take with
queen
the C
takes
rook.
E1.
And then you have F takes G1, haven't
Let's see, rook C1, knight E3,
Yeah, rook takes C7,
I?
bishop G7,
rook G1,
F2,
We're ignoring it.
rook takes G7. Oh,
pawn to F1.
F1
Which rook?
magic.
Oh, you're taking with this rook.
No, we didn't say. Well, then you have
Okay.
F takes G and rook F1 getting rid of all the rooks.
I I
Or
thought
maybe
even
then
like
there's
to
queen
take on
f6 at the end.
G7. Like if
the-
can I
it's
take on
made
G7 right away? King
With-
takes G7 or G1.
King H8.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. But what happens on?
Maybe it does. I mean, I don't know. It's dangerous.
The
Queen.
bishops.
Yeah,
There's no way
Yeah,
of
the
getting
bishop
around
is
that.
there, solid. What's wrong? What rook G1 F2?
Okay, well, hold on a minute. There's also bishop rook F5 you take, and there's no way to get to the long back. Okay, so rook G1 F2. So there's two different ways to take on G7.
Well, if you take on the G
Okay, and-
rook,
and there's
I
also-
make a
and
queen
we haven't
with
answered-
check.
We haven't dealt with queen takes H7 check yet either.
Well, look, if you play rook G7, I play F1
Oh, there's no mate on
queen.
G7. Oh, yes, there
I
is.
play F1 queen check.
We're saying queen takes H7 check.
No.
No, when?
I just play King H7.
No, it's on F2.
I hope so. It's
No.
not a legal move.
And if you
then-
play rook G7, I play King H6.
And rook H7
King G6.
and rook
Rook G7. Rook G7 mate.
H.
right?
The
No.
bishop still on the board. That's too bad. No, it's not. It's gone. Yeah.
I guess
No,
I could
but
play
then
King
King
F6.
F6.
King
And
F6.
that's
I
not a
mean, it's
perpetual.
Yeah.
it's too late.
It's worth looking. It's too late at night for us to
Yeah,
look.
but even
Um,
like after like a bishop F5,
Yeah,
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 like
okay.
my position is not.
Nice move.
Yeah.
This is how it went. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I didn't lie. I thought like.
Yeah, you went by one move. I overlooked that you were threatening mate on H2. Otherwise, I thought you were going to lose your F pawn. But this is suddenly
is
you're
terrible.
just eating all his pawns. It's
Even though
It's
I
a
probably
slaughter.
I was like too greedy probably to take on F4. But yeah.
oh, that was great.
Yeah,
Taking
nice. That's my favorite move. Queen takes
My
E8.
mind
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I
No,
need to
it
look
was
at it.
it
like
was
a, but
a
I-
feisty game.
Yeah.
We still have this
Still going
game
on.
going, and it looks like a
Look at that,
draw
queen
by
H2.
perpetual check.
And
Yep.
Indeed, it is.
Queen H5 check,
Oh, they did draw. Okay.
and
That's that.
that game
What
ended
was
in a
the
draw.
Josiah game?
And Michael Walters,
I just
obviously.
briefly
Oh
He
no,
did win,
Michael Walter was winning. Is winning.
and he won. It says 0-1.
Right. Okay, so the games are all over,
Okay.
and I want to just say thanks everybody for watching us. We'll come back next Tuesday. What happened in Denmark?
What happened there?
I don't.
I don't know,
I'm
but it
not
was
sure.
but it was lousy. How does that go? Something fishy.
Yeah,
and,
something of Denmark. Yeah. They have a saying about every country. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
No.
Something's rotten in Denmark.
Rotten. That's what I was looking for.
Have you ever heard that?
No.
It's Shakespeare.
Oh, okay.
Is it Shakespeare?
Yeah.
All right.
I
Good
think.
night, everybody, from the Mechanics Institute. Natalia Sodakova, International Master Elliot Winslow. I'm FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. I work for the greatest chess club on the planet.
Or at least in
and
San Francisco.
We're going to see you. And we're going to see you next week at same time, same place. Good night.
Good night.